Yeah, excessively. Oh shit, wait. Mix up. I keep forgetting to actually fucking turn that thing on. And we'll also see whether or not my thing works. It does. Oh, thank you, Story. Da, 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 da. And then I should have an auto shout out thing actually going on too. Story, if you'd be willing to just type something in the chat real quick. I want to see if it works. Yes! It works! It does the
Oh
link.
my god.
Nice.
He just automatic no matter what I say.
Yeah, the very first message that folks post, specific folks obviously, like streamers and stuff that pop in my chat, I actually put a entrance statement thing, so I actually post a auto shout out for you. Woo, works. I'm very happy about that. I don't think it works on redeems, but it does work on normal texts, so I'm very happy about that. Okay.
Heck yeah.
Now
You know, it'd be kind of funny. Never mind. I was just thinking, it's just like something funny that could be added to like the background here is just like pin a tiny sign at the back that you can basically only see if somebody is not present at the moment. So it's just like when they're not there, you can see like a tiny skull on the back wall or something like that.
Oh, that could be cute, actually. Well, think about that. I like that.
Not that big of a deal. I just thought it could be funny.
Yeah. I like having stuff in the background when folks aren't there. Although it's kind of rare that you guys aren't here, but just in case.
But what if But what if there was like a character portrait for everyone but sleeping?
That would be so cute. That would be adorable. Can you imagine the 9-foot giant sleeping?
just like in the background, sitting on a chair or something like that.
It's just like it's just giant. All right. Anyways, hello and welcome, dear patrons, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. Today I'm your storyteller, Sinspeaks, and we shall be continuing the tale of Tyrant's Wrath. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. I am here with Ania, or Storyestry, which you can see inside the chat and go follow her. Gelmar, Dakota, Rue, and Sapphire. Hi, guys.
Howdy, y'all.
And Cyril is out today.
Yes, he is unfortunately feeling quite under the weather, so he is unable to join, unfortunately. If you guys have not already as well, I do have a redeem inside the chat called well, I have first, but I also have add to your shelf, and essentially it just allows you, like that, to put a book on your shelf, which also tells me how often you viewed my streams, so I can come back to you and be like, hey, or when we start the stream, I can always shout people out and say, hey, good job, guys, you're here, I like seeing you, because I just like interacting with folks on the channel, making sure that, you know, I get where I need to. Dashboard? I guess that works. Anyways, so, last episode, you guys did, quite a bit, if I recall correctly. You guys did all of your dreams. We finished off with, Cyril. I'm staring at his name. I can't even say it. We finished off with, we started off with Cyril, doing his dream, which, essentially was the Hunter's Dream from Bloodborne, if you guys, know of it. If not, essentially it was a small cabin inside of a dream space, where he interacted with an old man with a scythe, who basically told him that, his hunt is, just starting. And his power needs to grow for him to be able to continue on his way. In order to get to whatever it is that he is indeed hunting, which apparently is very important to his, to the whole reason that he became an adventurer, he became a hunter. Whatever that may be, he is not strong enough to fight it yet. And so his master, his mentor, whoever it was that he was talking to, the old man with the large scythe, stated that he needs to go and do smaller hunts. And there are 7, as referenced by Ania's dream as well, that have been released, and he needs to be on the hunt for them. Only one of which he has gotten any information from other dream hunters, which apparently is more or less the oath that Cyril has taken. And this one that he got the information of in the form of a scroll is a giant ship made entirely of metal. These ships don't exist in this world, at least to the best of anyone's knowledge. No one has created something this large before, especially one made entirely of metal. It's just not something that people have really thought about. They mostly make them out of wood, and they're usually smaller creations. Sometimes they add in metal as well in order to keep the ship more reinforced, but a giant creation made entirely of metal is entirely unheard of. This ship and this scroll that he was given, he was told that the monster that he's going to be hunting is not necessarily entirely physical. There is a lot of mental that goes into this battle as well, because in order to train a hunter, you need to both train their physical powers and their mental abilities, and he stated that Cyril's mental abilities are just not up to snuff, basically. Cyril brought this back to you guys and basically said that it was a monster he needed to hunt, and it came in port cities, which there is one near where the, probably maybe a day or two, roughly speaking, away from the Elder Tree, depending on where the Elder Tree is to the best of your guys' memories. After that, we followed up with Rue, I believe, and we got to see her interacting with her god and her best friend. She was inside of this large landscape, which was almost entirely covered in mists. And as she was interacting and just walking through the area, eventually she stumbled onto a gigantic hand. Upon getting onto the hand, she felt the presence of her best friend in the hand, and she was lifted up all the way to his face, and it was about 100-something foot tall giant who talked with her very, very nicely. And he warned her that gods have apparently been targeted. Something is interacting with the world and is dangerous, and he was exceptionally worried about her as he didn't want her to get hurt.
And Dakota was sad.
And Dakota was sad. he was very worried about Dakota being sad. So, he gave her a little bit of power to help her on her way, to protect her against the evils of the world that she shall be enduring, and sent her on her way back home. And then lastly, we got to Gelmar's dream. Gelmar initiated his dream by interacting with an old rival of his on the snowy mountain tops of Ironspire Peaks. I believe that's the name of it. The Dwarven mountains he was on the top of. And they interacted with each other, and essentially they had a combat, a friendly spar, shall I say, with Gelmar getting slammed for critical damage, absolutely just rinsing his health. But he seemed to be a very jovious combatant against his foe, and he was taught a couple of skills as well, which I believe I gave you, Gelmar, if I recall correctly. I might not have told you I gave you it. I thought I did.
Wait, did you add additional abilities in addition
yes,
to all that?
I gave you a feat. I'm just realizing now, I don't think I ever told you I did. Because you have to choose
you
it.
did not tell me. I snagged one unmanually. Was I supposed to grab another?
Yeah, so the one that you would have gotten for not beating, but for interacting with this fellow, one of the reasons why he was acting the way he was is that he was not only sparring with you, he was actually training you. And one of those training things that you got is the Martial Adept feat. So you can learn 2 maneuvers of your choice from those available from the Battlemaster archetype in the Fighter class, and you gain 1 superiority die as well. And that is essentially what he was doing mid-combat as well. If I can find out where he is, there he is. He was using the disarming attack and the Respute. Is it Respute?
Spell it.
Ripost.
Oh, reposit or
Reposit, thank you. Riposte.
No,
that's the
riposte.
word.
Yeah.
Riposte. Yeah, he was using
where's
riposte
plutonium
and he was
upload
using
again?
disarming attack against you.
Where's plutonium upload again?
Is the 3 dots right next to the X.
Got it. Sorry.
You're good. It's a new system, so well, relatively new. But you were interacting with him. You have learned new tactics, essentially, that he more or less was training you. And he informed you that the Dragon Cult were probably on the rise. He hadn't seen them in the Ironspire Peaks for a long while. He doesn't know where they are, but he hopes that your sister is safe. After you had come home, or back to your physical body, all of you guys were kind of talking to each other, kind of pulling out the information from one another of the different places you've gone to and the different battles you were going against, and you guys eventually got up, grabbed all your stuff, and went on your way over to where the sheriff's house is. Ania just shamelessly using Cyril as a windbreaker, so that the wind and rain didn't just fucking suffocate her.
I am small.
He was small. And eventually you guys get back to the town. And as you guys get there, it's around midnight or so. You guys slept during most of the day as you guys were completely exhausted. As you get back to town, you check up on Fluffy, but the bar door is closed. Fluffy kind of interacts with you guys, and so Ania goes to try to find Alice. As she does, Alice talks to you guys. She tells them that Fluffy's doing okay, doing alright. You guys ask her a few questions about where to go to the sheriff, because you guys are technically done with your mission at this point. And Ania specifically spots that she does a small scratch at some of her, like her arm, her waist a few times, but very, very small movements. So very hard to witness aside from Ania's magic eyes. But eventually she brings you guys to the sheriff's house. He's tired. It's almost midnight. Everyone's pretty much asleep. And so he opens the door, and Cyril basically just shoves everyone in there, just ignoring the wishes of the sheriff entirely, as you guys all pushed inside, including Alice. But everyone's just kind of like ruffled inside, and the sheriff goes inside of his tiny house / jail / sheriff station and makes himself some coffee. And that's where we are right now.
Oh boy, a real wow, it's real nice cowboy's office.
I do my best.
It's a sheriff's office.
Yeah.
I've studied the old tales, and sheriff's office makes a good ass place.
And Ania's gonna perk up.
There's cowboy old tales? Do you have a book?
It's funny for so many reasons. He looks at you for a second out of like sheer confusion for a moment before he shakes his head, and he's like, not on me, miss, but there are a few tales. Surprised you don't know the stories. Your friend over there is dressed exactly like him.
Dakota like shakes his head like really subtly. So I'm not sure what you're talking about, sir.
Right, yeah. Rule 3, gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
worry about it, miss. Yeah.
Rule 3, got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't talk about cowboys.
Ah, yeah. Can't talk about the old mythical tales. Yep. Until you find the book. Find the book, you can talk about the book with the other find books.
There's a book to find?
Yeah. It's inside Star Shadow Kingdom. Yeah, they have all kinds of books up there. Ah, shit.
Oh.
Damn. Rule 3. Shit.
Is it that much of a sore spot?
It's
Is it that much of a sore spot?
the cowboy's code is it's a sort of underground sort of thing.
He knows it.
The cowboy's code is yep.
Yep. Shouldn't talk about the books until you find the book. God damn it.
Sir.
Anyways, yeah, cowboy times. Yeah. Sheriff's office. What the fuck do you want from me?
Oh, that's a good question.
Just slowly starts sipping his coffee, very clearly staying away from the entirety of your group shoved into half his house.
Ania will wait a beat to see if anyone else wants to speak up first.
We just came
Rue
from
is
our
like
exam.
staring off into the distance. She's like, what's going on?
She's not here.
She's cosmics in the walls.
Whoa.
We just came from our examination of the building. Found a dubious spellcaster of sorts on the top floor, as well as an array of patchwork minions. Aside from that, all we really found was a pair of delinquents that unfortunately made a beeline for who knows where the moment we left for the top floors.
I see. Some delinquents, then. Is that this, what you say, a necromancer y'all dealt with?
I would assume that was what was with the oversized beings, caked in rotten flesh and practically stitched together.
And you're sure it was a necromancer y'all interacted with, not like a incompetent wizard.
Unless you can think of another explanation for that description, that would be my assumption.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was a necromancer.
Right, alright. And, you find anything else over there? A group of bandits, maybe? Murderous combatants? Anything?
Aside from the three I've just disclosed, in terms of people, we found nothing.
Oh,
Huh.
I found something.
Hmm?
What was the watchtower originally used for? Was it part of the town?
No, this town is, it's always been a farming town. Next to it, though, we've had all kinds of places rise up. We've had, minor kingdoms, and sometimes the elves want to get, a little bit frisky next to the town and such, so they've built things. They never stood the test of time, unfortunately. All kinds of monsters run them over once they get big enough. And so that watchtower used to be part of a larger kingdom of sorts. A lot more defensives, a lot more, what do you call it? Walls and stuff, and all kinds of things we don't really care about here. And, they just got run over at one point. Something took them down. No one's rebuilt there since.
Oh, we found a journal down there that used to belong to one of the moon wizards. Moon Shadow?
Interesting. I haven't heard that name for a long while.
It was Leiden Moon Shadow. It seemed like they had been down there for quite a long time.
Well, that would make sense if it was one of them elves that had that book. The last village, as I said, was an elven territory. Didn't last very long, but they moved on after their defenses got broken.
Why didn't say it lasts long?
I don't really know. I wasn't here for when that happened. That was about, he kind of like takes another sip of his coffee as he thinks. Oh, stories say about 50, 70 years ago, something like that. Town just kind of got demolished somehow. Only thing that remains is that damn tower. Kind of wish the tower would break too, so we'll stop getting little shits going in there, but oh well. Can't
Part of
really
it's
break it
broken
down.
now.
Hmm?
Part of it's broken now.
Oh, that's good. Maybe it becomes so unstable. Next group that goes into there will all just die. Don't go back. I don't want. Well, actually, if you go back, you might die too. Go back if you wish.
Do you know anyone that's used to be there 50 years ago?
Not anyone down here. Most of the folks here stayed here since, well, since this town was made so long ago. And many generations have raised and broke this town. If you want anyone who been there, you'll probably find your best luck either in the Haven or, back in their little kingdom of theirs. The Haven takes in all kinds of folks. So when that tower came down, a lot of folks migrated to Haven, and other folks, well, they weren't as welcome, so they went over to the kingdom.
Hmm. Oh.
And Nia will look to Gelmar and she'll say,
Do you still have the cloak that belonged to one of the delinquents? Would you like to show it if you have it?
Of course, he says, placing it on the table, as well as before reaching into his pocket and also tossing the sigil on top of it.
Ah. He kind of like walks forwards a little bit. And like he's not wearing his usual armor. But you'll see he always has his sword kind of like on his side, or he puts it down somewhere next to him. As he like starts walking, he grabs his sword and puts it onto his belt. And he walks over and kind of like puts down his coffee, and he starts touching the cloth. Huh. Very good fibers. Very good mending. Very durable. Thick. Tough. Clearly survival nature. Anyone who uses this uses it for trekking, sleeping, long distance traveling. He kind of grabs the emblem and looks over. Cracked a little bit. More or less pristine. High quality metal. They probably have some kind of forge that uses this for their sakes. Dragon. Black dragon, specifically. Could be one of the goblins.
It was in the possession of a black dragonborn.
Interesting. We don't see many of those folks around here. You get a lot of copper, but not many black ones.
I mean, there are three dragonborn in the room right now.
Yeah. Copper's the most common. He kind of like gives a side eye to Dakota for a second. And yeah, you will notice this instantly. He's not like really making it like obvious, but he kind of like side eyes Dakota for a second before looking back at his thing. And
If I had.
and your kind ain't normal either. Maybe a dragonborn, but you're one of the rarest types I've ever seen. Most folks around here are more like me. Hold on just a moment. You either usually get some brass of copper like me, or you can get one of the normies like a red one or a blue one. White one's common, but yeah, you ain't often gonna see a black one coming around, or green ones. You might see them around, but they're a little bit more the cunning folk. But gold one, never gonna see one of those folks, and you almost never see one of you silver folks either. Kind of strange seeing you here, but black ones, I haven't seen a black one in over 20 years. He kind of puts it back down.
Above game, didn't you say one of the previous adventures that had helped, quote unquote, helped the village was a black dragonborn with an axe?
Blue dragonborn.
Gotcha. Never mind. Well, we have our own locations just as everyone else.
Why 20 years?
Well, last time I saw one of them black dragonborns, I believe he has a scar, if I recall correctly. I don't quite remember if I said he did. Let me look at him real quick.
Oh, like when you first, like...
Yeah, when I first introduced him. I believe I said he had, like, a really large scar, across,
Oh, I
like
think I
his...
remember.
Yeah, I think it was across his eye, if I recall correctly.
I don't know if I wrote it down, but you said it was pretty big.
Yeah, he has a fairly large scar. We're gonna say that it's like across like most of his face, from like probably one side of his head down to his jaw. It's a fairly large scar. Um, but yeah, as he's talking, he's like, well, last time I saw one of them, is how I got this. And he points to a scar on his face. We locked into a battle just outside of town some 20-some years ago. I was using my Betsy here, kind of gestures to his sword, and that son of a bitch was using some kind of curved sword. I don't know what it was exactly. Well, we locked in a battle for over 4 hours. He didn't seem to want to give up for some reason. Oh boy, he got me tired something fierce. After we locked into a cold battle, we got to the end of it. We locked each other's eyes. We pummeled, we beat, we smashed. He slashed and slew and ripped through my face. But I got him in the end. I plunged into his heart. But since then, I haven't seen a single one of them.
Oh.
Whoa. You got really into that.
Ah, yes, I love telling stories about my battles. They're all good stories.
I guess we should take all this to Haven and see if they know anything more about it then.
Indeed, your little fancy guild folks might know more than a poor old farmer like me.
And I'd imagine you'd probably want us out of your hair at this moment as well, correct?
Rather you folk not be in town for too much longer, so the townsfolk don't get some bothersome feelings about you. Again, we
I have a question regarding that, actually.
Yeah, what's up, Lomas?
And Ania will step forward and give a little bit of a bow, like not completely, but like a little half bow, and she'll hold her staff and speak up.
I am a druid, and I believe if you would like it, I could bless some of your fields.
He kind of raises a scaling eyebrow, and he just goes, "You're a druid?" And kind of like
yes, sir.
Puts his hand a little bit like low to like top of your head, clearly seeing that like you're short. He goes, "Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?"
You've mentioned. I'm pretty sure I'm a druid, but you mentioned in the past how many adventurers have caused damage to this town and to your establishments, foundations. I assume your fields as well.
Oh yeah.
I would be honored if you would allow me to perhaps mitigate some of that damage that has been caused by blessing some of your fields.
I mean, if you want to do it, I ain't gonna stop you. It's pretty much just helping us, and frankly, if you do any harm to our town, I'll find you. You can just hear in his sentence, it's a note of finality. It's not like a threat. It's a this will happen kind of a note.
Yeah, and Nia doesn't blink any eyes at all, and she'll continue.
It will take me about half a day, though. I can get started tonight, and perhaps we can leave tomorrow in the afternoon.
That'll work for me. Ain't no one usually in the fields this late at night except for Jordan, and sometimes Miss Alice here.
And Ania will turn to Alice and...
Do you know who would know the best fields, perhaps to bless?
Oh, certainly, Joran. He tends to tend most of the fields throughout the harvest times, and so he's constantly checking on the different sections of the farm and making sure that they all work properly. And he's just a really, really hardworking fellow.
Nia will nod and turn to the rest of the groups, and she has not discussed this with them. And she'll just wait.
If you're going to go meet him, I would say to be careful.
Ooh.
She gets a little wag, like a little like a finger stretch that's like with a really like squinty look on her face. She's like,
He has great
"Oh,
stamina.
careful."
Careful. Is this Jorn fellow someone we should be wary of?
Do you need an armed guard?
I think so. I think most people should, make
Oh,
sure
I
she
think
has
I'll
backup.
be okay.
You know what? Why don't I follow you? I'm sure my weapon will be enough to defend against much anything.
The sheriff just kind
okay.
of
Good
looks
idea.
at you guys as just like, well, I can't really have Jordan inside the town very often, so best of luck when you meet him.
I knew it.
He's what we
Yeah,
call an
how's-
environmental hazard.
Sorry. This team is just getting the complete wrong idea.
Clearing this up.
And-
It's all for real.
And Enya will be happy to go whenever the rest of the team is.
Nice.
Wait. Have a good time. She like salutes you off. She's like, be safe.
Any other questions you folks have for me before you let me fucking sleep?
Coffee before you sleep?
Helps soothe the calm nerves.
I'd heard that it often wakes people up a bit more, but I wouldn't know. Never sampled any. Just
Well,
turning around and start walking towards the door.
he's just like, well, if I'm too calm, I can't sleep. I need it.
Enya will pick up the cloak and sigil if Gelmar didn't.
Yeah, he probably would have.
Okay, good.
I'm keeping those.
Yeah.
Those they could be useful for my
Mine.
mission. They could be useful for my mission.
My mission.
Yeah.
Very fair. So the rest of you go?
Yep.
Okie dokie.
Skedaddling.
Nice. So you guys step outside the door. Alice obviously comes with you. But as you guys get to the front door, he just kind of closes it. He's clearly trying not to be too loud because everyone's asleep. He does not close it gently. You don't think he can. So it just kind of thumps behind you. And Alice like smiles and nods to you guys, and she goes, "Well, I'm sure you guys know the way. Actually, do you? I think she does. I think I helped her find her way. Do the rest of you know where the farms are?"
I believe we met in front of the location, didn't we? Oh wait, no, never mind. I was thinking of her barn. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looked like there was a fair few around the entire town, weren't there not?
There are a few of them. She kind of like points beyond the sheriff's house to the north. If you go that way, you'll eventually stumble upon a large house. That's the farming house. All around that are our fields, and there's about a mile in almost every direction are fences. That's where our fields stop. That's usually where Jordan is. That's his home. He lives there with his parents, and he tends to take care of the farm around there. It's quite a hefty job, so a lot of the farm folk tend to go with him every now and again. We'll come out there and help him. I usually help him throughout the night as well. But you'll see him over there if you go.
Thank you.
Understood. Thank you. He says, giving her a respectful bow before returning in the direction she was pointing.
She nods to you and, all right, well, I'll be on my way then. And she'll start moseying on.
Take care. Don't get too wet.
How's the rain doing?
It's gone down to about drizzle at this point. It's still, raining, but it's not very bothersome.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she starts making her way away from y'all.
I'm going to be blessing the fields, it's going to take upwards of 8 hours. It's not very hard work, it's just a lot of focusing. If everyone else would like to do something else with this night, or just sleep, I don't mind.
It's a good question. As much as I'd love to see the town waking up, I'd imagine they wouldn't exactly be the most fond of that.
Oh, we should go scavenging! Scavenging for herbs.
Yeah.
I'm interested in I'm interested in what one can do with such things. Very well. If you could point them out, I'll gladly see about gathering a few.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I think Dakota would. Dakota doesn't really have that much to do. He'll probably just tag along with you guys, really.
Sure,
He just doesn't like being alone.
And more the merrier.
He's never alone.
Yeah. Especially
You
with
could
people
spend
that
time
won't
with
ask
Ania.
if you...
Yeah. Yeah, I should probably
Protect me from Jorvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think Dakota would probably want to ask Dakota would probably want to ask Nia about the specifics of the focusing things. Is that something you gotta be all quiet about, or?
Oh no, I can talk during it.
All right. I think I'll probably just you mind if I tag along with you while you're doing that? Just in case Joran pops up from the bushes.
I think we have to talk to him anyway to find out which field to bless.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. Alright. Mind if I tag along with you then, miss?
Not at all.
Alrighty.
Nice. All right.
And Ania will look to... I was just going to say Ania's going to look to Sapphire to see which group she wanted to go with.
Sapphire.
Dear.
So people are going to talk to Julian, is that right?
Joran.
Ania, Jordan. So
Figure
Ania's
out
going to be...
which-
Go ahead.
No, you were explaining what the other group was.
Yeah. So Ania's going to be sitting in one spot for 8 hours doing a blessing thing. Gelmar and Rue are going to go search, probably foraging and probably just looking around the town at the same time.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I think I'll go with Gelmar and Ruth.
Ah, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Cyril's
let's go
just
scout
going to
'em out.
go to the barn, gaining access from Alice to get into with Fluffy to take care of him. Probably talk with her a little bit about the specifics on taking care of Fluffy, beyond what he already knows. So that's just what he's going to be doing most of the night, probably sleeping in the barn too. All right. We'll start off
He has
with...
to drive.
Huh?
He has to drive the carriage in the morning.
Yeah, making sure all that's prepped up and all that's ready and stuff like that. We will start with Gamaru and Sapphire exploring a little bit, because that's probably going to take a little bit less time. So you guys, there's a couple of things that you guys probably would need to do, that definitely Sapphire would think about. Rue, debatably, and Gelmar, you don't really forage very often, so probably not on your mind too much. But specifically, it's food. You guys do have some food on you. Obviously, you get enough rations usually for the week or so travel, but having extra food, mushrooms or general fruit, some meat from hunting, stuff like that, is always good to have on you, especially if you can cook it, if you can change it, or whatever have you. Very good for you to forage, very good for you to find, especially on pretty much there's nothing to do nights like these. There's also training you guys can do, so you guys can do short sparring with one another, pretty much just practicing your general moves with one another, especially if you think your character would, from a previous fight, they know I didn't do this very well, air quote, a natural one, then you have the roleplay moment of, my characters don't be testing this against a tree or against somebody else over and over and over again until they can finally get it down. And then finally, the last thing you guys would be foraging would be herbs, specifically stuff for health potions, for general other potions that you can potentially find, depending on where you guys are looking specifically. With those 3 things in mind, what would you guys like to start off with? Galmar, I'll start with you.
Well, I would assume that since I already agreed to assist Rue with gathering herbs, so I may as well start there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I assume this would be a survival check, or should we run an intelligence to see if my character even knows what kind of herbs we're looking for?
Rue, what's your survival?
My survival's +8. 18.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just use the help action on her.
Yeah.
I know my warrior with the woods. I get lost a lot, okay? I know it.
I'm just going to assume that this entire basis is going to be her explaining the basics for what these things look like, and then him just assisting on the side and trying to track those down.
Pretty much.
And this one feels like it's more like fleas jumping on your tongue, but it's not bad. Stuff like
I
that.
love that. Yeah, feel free to roll a survival check then.
Let's go find it.
With advantage, I would imagine, but yeah.
With advantage.
Oh, I gotta reload.
I knew I saw a name vanish from the sidebar there.
Yeah. Who is being whack?
Just being whack-a-daisies.
Oh, boop. We'll see how this goes.
With advantage.
Oh.
You can just click the advantage. Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, it gave you 1. So you guys are able to forage relatively well. Honestly, mushrooms, berries, all that fun stuff, really not difficult for you guys to find, to get, especially in a very dense harvest town like this. A lot of the soil's really good. A lot of the fertilization is fantastic. A lot of there's a lot of animals that tend to spread a lot of stuff around. Absolutely lovely for producing a lot of berries, producing a lot of mushrooms, and producing a lot of variant trees, all kinds of different things. So you guys get all kinds of different foods. Sapphire, while they are kind of exploring, getting, harvesting some berries or getting herb or whatever they're doing, would you be trying to follow in the footsteps? Would you also be trying to forage like plants and other things, or do you have anything else in mind that you're doing?
You can get us some dinner. Shoot some birds. I'm just kidding.
Pew pew birds.
You probably are aware. I don't know for certain whether or not, but you are currently muted, Sapphire.
Oh.
I think she's dead.
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
I'm just distracted by my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
The baby.
The baby.
Okay. Was I asked a question?
Yes, it was, so while they're doing all their foraging, specifically for berries or mushrooms or other general plants to use as food for the next couple of days, was there anything that you wanted to do as well? Forage as well, try to collect more stuff, maybe practice training, or anything else?
The only thing I could think of was maybe hunting small animals.
That'll work. Okay. Feel free to roll a survival check, and we'll see how well you do.
No, not the stream. Get out of the stream.
And Ania does have a leather working set. She tends to like to use all of the carcass, so she will take the bones and the leather. So if Sapphire doesn't do that already, Ania would greatly appreciate being able to work with the carcass later.
Nice.
Like, oh, you brought me dead bodies.
Is that a dead body? Sweet.
What?
Hey, kids, would you like to see a dead body?
Dang, you beat me to it.
Hey.
Oh, it's 16. All right, that'll work. So as you are, you pretty much see them go off in a direction or so. They're getting all kinds of stuff. Rue is basically just kind of showing Gelmar the ropes on how to identify specific materials, specific foods, usually using her notes. While she's doing that, Sapphire, you just go in like basically a completely separate direction. And because you know that's probably the loud place is probably where animals are going to avoid. So you go in a different direction, and you start hunting. You are a trained survivalist. This is literally what you were practically trained for, what you've been doing for literal, like a decade and a half, roughly, since you were an actual child. And you are wandering through the forest, and it is more home to you than any town could ever be. As you're wandering through the forest, you do find a couple of smaller animals. You find a couple rabbits that you hunt. And honestly, with your bow, it's not even a challenge for you to hit them. And then near kind of the end of your hunting times, you do find a deer. And it's a fairly large deer. It seems to be a very good size. And once you hit it, it falls down. One shot, one kill. Beautiful times. And of course, you collect it, bring it back. This takes about the 8 hours of your journey. As with the two of you harvesting, trying to find different fruits, mushrooms, all that fun stuff. You're foraging. That will also take about the 8 hours of your journey. So as Sapphire is coming back, she has two rabbits in one hand, and then deer in the other hand, trying to bring it back into town. Ania and Dakota, you two, for this roughly 8-hour period, you guys are going up to the fields like you were suggested to, all the way up to the north. It's really not that far of a distance. It's maybe 20 minutes, I think I said, of walking upwards, and you eventually do find the house that was mentioned earlier. As you do so, nearby the house, he's still, it's the dead of night, but he's like checking the different patches for weeds, pulling them out as they are forming, or double checking the rows, and he's just kind of going through it. Very nice, calm pace. He seems to know exactly what he's doing. And this is obviously Joran. And you guys can see, as Rue did, this dude is built like a goddamn brick house. His shoulders are broader than God. He has the muscles of a king. He looks like someone took a wall and put it on a person. He's just built.
Is he still shirtless?
Yeah.
I have a question.
How do you know he's still shirtless?
In my druid convent circle, I forget again, but in my druidic group, how many people are half shirtless all the time anyway?
Broader than God. Most of the time, if they're a moon druid, they very rarely wear shirts, just because oftentimes it's just a hassle for them. They're not used to wearing clothing as animals, and moon druids are the most common animal form takers. For most other ones, like star druids and everything like that, you guys namely participate during the nighttime for stars, so you typically wear clothes more for warmth than anything else. Obviously, some modesty there too. When you look at this man, what you can tell is probably the sheer amount of mass on him is making it so he's warm. That's the way you would rationalize it.
So warm. All right.
Yeah.
And Nia will walk up to him, unfazed for the moment, and being like,
Hello, good evening.
Hello there. He just kind of like looks at you, just staring.
And she does another little half bow.
My name's Ania. I'm part of the adventurers that were coming by before.
Ah, I remember you. You were with that pretty lady. Whatever. Did she give me her name? She might have. I don't know. How can I help you, ma'am?
We have many pretty ladies, but I was given permission by the sheriff to bless some of your fields. I happen to be a druid.
Oh, I ain't seen many of you druid folk very often. How, what do you do?
We help channel more of the nature's energy into the fields so they can grow better. I
Ah,
was hoping you could point me towards which fields are suffering the most or having the most difficulty right about now.
he kind of like smiles as he like looks at you. You can tell like that smile is like a king smile. Like you can instantly see just everything like brighten up the moment he smiles, and you can also tell there's no thoughts in this man's head. This man just like, yeah, and he reaches
I
down.
know that.
You've seen Ruin. He reaches down, grabs like a shovel off the ground, and just like puts it on his shoulder. The shovel head, by the way, is not broad enough to encompass his entire shoulder. This man's huge. He's only about, I think I said like 5'8" or so. So he looks very disproportionate, but in like fucking what was the Disney guy's name?
Which
Oh,
movie?
no one.
I don't know
Gaston,
if it
that's
was.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, Gaston.
Yeah,
I
this
think
man
Gaston's
is
pretty
like,
tall.
he's built like Gaston, but like slightly
bit
shorter than
shorter.
Gaston would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just the slightest bit odd. But he like puts the shovel on his shoulder and he goes, "Follow me!" And he turns around and just starts walking. His normal walking pace fucking outspeeds you easily.
Okay, and he like does a little light jog to keep up.
I'm assuming Dakota, you're following.
Yeah, Dakota's just like following along. He's just kind of like slightly uncomfortable, suspicious, maybe.
I cannot
Why is he so-
understate how wide this man is. Man
Yeah.
is huge. But he brings you to another section of the farm, and this one, yeah, you can physically feel that there's not as much nature energy in here. It is remarkably well taken care of, but it's just not as good as the rest of the farm. It's something seems to have happened to it by some form or another. And he walks over there, and he's not even slightly winded. By this point, like, you guys been like, he's been just normal walking for like 15 minutes. You guys been like light jogging to like heavy jogging to keep up with them. And Dakota is winded to hell.
Can
mhm.
I want to roll to see how, because I didn't participate in that run from before, so I'm curious how well Ania will do.
Yeah, I think that
what
was
should I
a
roll?
let me double check real quick. I think that was a athletics check.
Athletics. Okay. Let's see.
I don't have to roll. I know how Dakota feels about this.
Ha!
Yeah, you what are you doing better than Dakota? Oh my god.
Better than Dakota.
Better than Dakota. Let me see. Yeah, he's just normal. He's not even hard. He's not even slightly pacing himself. So he's just normal walking. You're kind of panting a little bit, but you know it's nice. It was a nice jog. Dakota is
nice
dying behind you.
Slow down a sec.
Oh,
Not used to walking this much so long.
I apologize for that. You clearly could tell he does not know how to refer to you.
Oh, it's Dakota. Dakota
Ah.
Ryder. Pleasure
It's
to
good
meet
to
you,
see
sir. Mm-hmm.
Sir.
Yeah.
I'm not usually
this
called sir,
Dakota's-
except by girls. I don't know why they call me sir.
Probably because you're so big. All right, just give me a sec.
Am I?
Hey, Dakota.
Huh?
Yeah. Dakota kind of rolls his shoulder back a little bit. It's like, yeah, there it is. Ooh. Takes a breath. I'm like, all right, let's keep going.
Oh, we're here.
I can keep up. Oh, we are. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
We
Sorry, I was kind of looking.
Are you
Looking down.
okay, sir?
I'm fine.
He,
Don't worry about me.
he air quote gently he walks over to you and gently pats you on the back. It feels like you just took like a fucking fist from a Cyril to your spine.
Ow.
It's okay, buddy. He does like 3 or 4 times. It's okay. You'll learn. It's like the nicest possible way you could see him doing it, but it feels like a titan hitting your back every time. Thunk.
In my
Dakota
notes,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna put Dakota suffering in my notes for this part.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's just like it's okay. Just gotta do more farm work and you'll be alright.
Yeah. Thank you kindly, sir. He
Nia
kind of
will
takes a step away.
don't pat me again. Nia will do a little half bow and
Thank you very much. I'll be around here for about 8 hours. It takes that long to bless the fields properly.
No problem, ma'am. If you need any help from me, I can always come on by. I usually check this place every night, see whether there's some of them dang garden creatures. We found a gnome here once. He like grabs the shovel and grips it, and you can see like his knuckles turn white. He goes, "Goddamn gnomes."
Oh, are gnomes bad?
All ones are. You've never once heard of a story of a gnome being a bad thing before? And you know there's 2 forms of gnomes. There's like the humanoid gnomes, and then there's what people often refer to as the garden gnomes. But obviously if you haven't interacted with many gnomes in your life, you just don't use gnome for garden gnomes. They're tiny, they're short, probably about like a foot or 2. And they're generally like garden pests. They like eat a lot in the area. They tend to keep out a little bit of the smaller critters like gerbils and stuff like that. Just by their presence, they're just annoying to most garden creatures. But yeah, apparently he has a fucking vengeance against these things. I find them sometimes, and I punt kick them. I punt kick them hard.
Oh, I bet they go really far.
See like 1,000-yard stare from this man as he looks down one of the paths to the moon. Anyways, if you find one of them, let me know.
Will do. I can send Dakota back to the house to get you.
Nice. I'll come running. Every time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And he just kind of like turns around and walks away, whistling a short tune. Was that
You
Dakota?
okay, Dakota?
Just kind of a see ya, sir.
You notice as he's walking, it's a very casual stride, and he's just zooming.
he's already gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nia will start normally walking around the field to find like the midpoint of where the midpoint of the bad energies are, so she can start blessing.
Doesn't take you too long. A lot of the energy is like very concentrated. You can tell there is a lot of love and dedication put into this entire farm. His muscles are a testament to the fact that he cares for this farm deeply, and he spends all of his time here. So even with like how kind of rough the energy is here, it's still a beautiful farm. You've never seen a farm that has this much like negative energy to it that's still this well run. It's an impressive sight to say the least. But you do very quickly find the center of it, and most of the things in the direct center are kind of dead. Like you can tell no matter how much effort he put into it, they're dead. But you find it relatively easily.
All right, Nia will like find a little nice place and just she'll stay standing and put her staff, set her staff down in front of her on the ground, and hold it, and she'll just start concentrating. And I'm going to cast. Let's see, plant growth. And let me look at it real quick. It says you can if you cast a spell over 8 hours, you enrich the land. All plants in a half-mile radius centered on a point within range become enriched for 1 year. The plants yield twice the normal amount of food when harvested.
Nice. Okay.
And she will start to give off her green gold glow, little motes of light, like gently floating off her and falling onto the surrounding plants. A little bit like snow, but sort of more like fireflies that like just sort of float off and drift, hit plants, touch the dirt. And she's going to be like that for 8 hours.
Nice.
Yeah. Dakota will like to find a spot to like kind of like sit down ish. He kind of looks around. It's like, you do this often, miss?
Oh no, this is my first time, but I've seen other druids do it.
Oh wow. Usually for fields like this, or like for magic forest druid things?
A little bit of both.
Mm.
The druids will have their own farms, but they're more wild than these cultivated ones.
Mm-hmm. So, I was actually wondering something. So I could talk to you here. I don't know if this is like a sore subject or anything, but I was wondering. You said your pop's died when you were young, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know where? Because he's a stars elf, right? They do like discovering and magic and knowledge and stuff. Did he work in the kingdom, the castle, or was he like a druid like yourself, or?
No, my mom was the druid. My father was more of a scholar. Why do you ask?
I was just wondering what kind of things he might have studied, you know? A lot of the ones I know, at least, you know, they kind of do studying lots of books, at least. That's what you hear. I know. So I was just wondering where he might have worked and that sort of thing.
And Dania will look at Dakota, and her smile is still on her face, and she'll tilt her head a little bit, and there's still like the glow coming off her, and she'll be like,
Well, I think most scholars study quite a bit. Is there a particular kind of field of scholarlyship you were looking into?
Things to do with, like, how familiar was he with the castle and the things that went on there?
did my dad work at the castle, or was he more on the like a noble out off fringes guy?
He probably worked in the castle to a degree. He probably didn't like being in there, and so whenever he had to be in the castle, he would probably often come home and tell you about, the castle being annoying or whatever irritations he dealt with. So not very often, but he was forced to spend some time in the castle, and especially if they had something like they really need to crack, they would bring him in.
And I've probably been in there a couple times myself.
A few times, yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's been in there before. Me too.
You've been in the castle?
When I was young.
Oh. Like, he kind of like thinks for a moment. How much of the castle did you see? Like, you seem like the type who probably hung around the library and whatnot, yeah?
Mostly the library.
I can see that. Yeah.
I was very little at the time.
Yeah. Probably.
You're awfully curious about high elves, considering you hate them so much.
And she just like out straight says that.
Well, I get around, I like to know things as much as I can,
You're a bad liar.
You start off that.
Oh, damn.
And then he just watches him. Still smiling.
Well, never much everyone for social things. What would I?
Hmm?
Look, I'm really not sure where to proceed from here with that line. I just want
You could
to.
be honest.
I could. That's. Look, there are things that I have trouble letting other people know about me.
Ooh, will you get in trouble if you tell people?
Technically speaking.
Oh. Well, you don't have to tell me. I'm sure I'll be able to find out eventually on my own.
uh, uh, he kind of like tilts his hat over like his eyes. He kind of like looks out at the sky.
We could do a trade.
Sure. You got
Nia will-
secrets?
And Nia will do a little laugh.
I think it's more that you want questions answered.
Well, I'm not sure how much you know.
Well, you won't know until you ask the question, but I can promise I'll give you an answer if you tell me some of your own secrets.
Alright. Okay.
Question for question.
Sure. Okay. Alright. How much do you know about the things that go on in the tower in the castle? Was it the
Nia
Eclipse
will-
Tower? I don't
Yeah.
remember what it was called. Yeah. The Eclipse Tower. Tallest tower in the kingdom.
What do I know about the Eclipse Tower? Do I need to roll for that?
Yeah, roll history.
Okay.
And you're also welcome to come up with things that you think you might reasonably know as well.
Okay.
14. I would say, and again, you can add on to this if you'd like, what you would know is that they were researching something particularly heavy. Your dad was very uncomfortable with whatever they were researching. He hated the idea of researching it. And it's one of the reasons why he wasn't really up in the top of the tower very often. He preferred to be near the library where he would be with you a lot and stuff like that. Whenever he was brought to the top to do some research, every single time he was in a bad mood whenever he came home.
Okay. And Nia will look away from Dakota like the first time in the conversation and consider the question a bit. And then she'll respond with a less obnoxiously cheery tone than usual. And she'll be like,
I don't know the specifics, but I don't think my father liked it very much. It seemed to be rather serious stuff.
It was.
Oh, were you there?
and Nia, like, immediately looks back to Dakota full smile.
Kind of looks down again. Alright. Well, let's just say the High Elves, they're a lot more, they're secretive. They're known for it. But they, they did a lot of things for the good of the kingdom that they probably shouldn't have. Your dad sounds like a good man. So I don't know, man. I don't know, miss.
Well, that doesn't answer my question, but I'll accept it.
Your
Alright.
turn.
Okay. Here, how about you ask me a question, and I'll answer it as best I can.
Are you sure?
Depends on the question.
Are you really a dragonborn?
What else would I be? You can tell
Insight
that
check.
you can tell that like he's trying his best to stay cool at that question, but like
Ooh, darn.
ooh.
Ooh. Roll me that deception or persuasion.
Okay. I'm shaking. I'm shaking right now.
Let me see those numbers. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh.
spicy. Spicy. Barely made it.
Slightly above. You can't get much from it. So close. That's
All
like, you can kinda, but you can't get too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's very uncomfortable.
Neil will not respond and just watch and wait for Dakota to get his words together again.
Yeah. I just kind of what else would I be? Scales are genuine as my poncho.
Your turn.
And she does not answer the question.
Wait, my turn to ask a question again?
Yeah.
Right, okay. You know, I know how much that I know you know how I feel about high elves, at least a little bit. I know you've seen the way that I put my gun on the table whenever one walks into the tavern, but you never said anything. Which makes me wonder what your thoughts are on high elves.
And Neil will be a little bit surprised. Not like shocked or like taken off guard, but a little bit surprised. And then she'll respond to that one.
Well, I've heard they've done some quite mean things in the name of research and knowledge that I don't quite agree with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a huge fan of them either. But there are good apples like my dad.
Yeah. All right. Did your dad ever tell you about anything that they were researching, or just being in a bad mood after coming home?
Sin? Or is that for me to decide?
I'll let you decide that.
Okay. And she'll think on it and look off like,
Not particularly. He was always in such a bad mood that I more wanted to see him cheer up after the hard work day.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't talk about it too much.
Fascinating.
Is it? Sounds quite
Uh,
normal to me.
Well, mm. All right. All right. How about your turn?
You sure?
Sure, why not?
and I'm no, I won't roll for it. Anil will look at Dakota and she will just watch for a long time, trying to decide like if she wants to ask this or not. And then she'll look away and be like,
I think I'm good.
Really?
I've already asked you quite a bit.
Fair enough.
Do you want me to ask more? I thought you didn't like talking about yourself.
He kind of like chuckles at that, and then just kind of like looks back down to the ground, like really sadly.
Ooh, I could spook you if you would like.
Spook me.
Mhm.
I don't think there's much you could do that could scare me.
and he'll watch Dakota for a bit, and she'll speak up.
Have you ever heard of changelings by chance?
He like full startles at that.
Ooh, I spooked you.
Not sure what you're talking about.
I don't think I need to insight check.
No, not in the slightest. You can instantly. That was the most bold-faced lie you've ever seen from someone. I feel like if you said that you're like his skin was purple or the sky was a bright orange.
And Ania will. Oh, go ahead.
Ain't those fey creatures change into
And-
anything they like?
So I've heard.
And she'll look away and say, "Well,
We can't play anymore if you're not going to be honest.
Well, I mean, that one was just a biological fact. But yes, I know what changelings are.
That was my question. Your turn. If you'd like to keep playing.
All right. Okay. Just like knocked like out of it. Hmm. Thanks for a bit. What do I?
and he has like 5'5" and so intimidating right now."
Standing there with her staff,
Like
slowly
she can't move
looking
from
at
that
him.
spot. She's stuck there for 8 hours.
Mhm. How did? What was your mom like?
Oh, my
You know,
mom.
No, go ahead.
it's just like I know your dad is like a high elf sort. So I'm not entirely sure. Cause someone working in the castle, I don't know how much they leave, and you seem like you're probably raised somewhere else, technically speaking. You seem like it anyway. Could be making assumptions here. So what was your mom like?
No, my mom is a wood elf. I actually only last saw her half a year ago before I went to journey with all of you.
Oh.
We live in a druid circle near Haven.
Mm-hmm.
She's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
She's very cool druid. Much better than me.
I don't know about that.
That is a compliment and not fact. She is very good.
All right. He kind of like sighs and he like thinks about it. All right, your turn next.
Sure. Like the third time.
Well, I'm assuming that we're probably going to be an adventuring party for a while, and you're the perceptive sort. But so I'm assuming you'll figure out anything you ask about me sooner or later. But you just don't tell the others yet.
I won't.
Yeah.
And she says that very genuinely.
Thank you.
And she'll look at him and say,
Are you a changeling?
He pauses and looks down. I haven't really thought of myself as that sort of thing for a very long time. I try to not think about it. He pulls out his gun, he kind of manifests it and he looks at it. My changeling form is weak, helpless. My patron, the knight, he gives me the power so I don't have to be.
Well, you know, if you want other people to not find out,
you should probably be better at masking it. And while Ania's looking at Dakota, her skin seems to ripple. And it goes from the darkish tone it is to light and then back again as her voice shifts and then goes back to normal.
He looks up at you and it's just like, don't do that. Don't. You're what?
you're a bad liar.
How? You're
Completely broke him.
And Ania will cheerfully look on and she'll chirp up like,
I probably should focus on this. I don't want to do it poorly.
which parent was it?
Which one indeed? I think I'm done answering questions for today. I've said quite a bit.
You can't have. How? How are you? He's like actually like panicking here. Just like no. You shouldn't have told me that. You shouldn't have. Oh god, now he knows. Now. Oh no.
I think I'm probably less scared of your patron than others, unless he really hates such things.
More than you know.
No, that's fine. Better get better at lying.
I love how cheerful she is.
Kind of like huffs at that and just like, I didn't spend a lot of my younger years talking to people. And especially before I met you, I and there were others, I didn't really talk to anyone. I was mostly scared, so not really good at the whole social thing.
Just because you didn't do it when you were young doesn't mean you can't get better at it now.
Fair enough.
Now, let me focus.
Mm-hmm. And kind of leans back.
Some of the stalks behind you are legitimately strong enough to keep you up. They are massive. It is easily the best garden you two have ever seen. This is probably some corn behind you, and like they're as thick as probably your arm. which is pretty large. But as you guys are just kind of like spending time waiting for it to pass, every now and again Jordan comes back, and he seems like very overjoyed at the stuff that you're doing, because as you're letting the energy flow through the air and flow through the ground, you can see some of the plants that have either been dying or are dead. They're starting to revitalize themselves, either through your magic or through a combination of magic, nutrients, and general other stuff. And with the air slowly getting better, every time he comes by, every couple of hours, and he speedily speds through. Like, he's just normal walking, but speed powers through. And he'll come by and he'll look at it, and he'll just be like overjoyed for a second. It's like watching a child in the body of a fucking power lifter. He is very happy. He takes out some of the weeds that start growing as you're producing, but very happy. He walks away again. I assume this spooks the crap out of Dakota every single time he pops by.
Yeah. It's like God manifests, and then he's like, oh, okay. All right.
But it takes you about the 8 hours or so to finish it, and once you are done, it is beautiful. The amount of care and tending that he put to this particular area because of how bad it was is now reflected in it being now revitalized. It is easily the best part of the entire farm, at least that you've seen so far. And you are tired as hell.
I'm tired and hungry. I want to go to the carriage.
You want some food?
Honestly, I don't think Dakota slept either.
Probably not.
I like to think that like he was just like kind of sitting there, and like on occasion he'd just like pull out like a little book out from his like his bag, and he just kind of like started writing.
Fair.
Yeah.
So when they're done, Ania's going to basically like tell the sheriff I said hi. We're gonna go. We'll see what the others are up to, and she'll start trudging back very slow.
Will do, ma'am. And I'll let him know all the greatness you did for our farm. What was your name again?
Ania.
Ah, right. And he just legitimately stares off into the distance, right past, like just past you for a second.
Then she stops and turns around. It's like,
Could you carry me back to town, please?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He just, like, picks you up, and, like, he picks you up with the ease of someone lifting up a fucking cucumber. Like, it's just such a gentle lift, and you're just pressed into his arm. I gotcha.
Thank you.
and she looked at Dakota.
Do you want to lift too?
I'm good.
See you back at town.
What? She's grabbing a ride.
It's like, follow me.
It's my
Never
lift.
remember names. And he
My
just starts
Uber.
walking.
It's my Uber. only costed my sanity.
It just like speeds back into town, and like he goes quick. He's just like holding you like you're a precious cargo. He finally gets back in town. It's gonna take Dakota quite a bit longer to get back to town, but he gets back to town, and he gently puts you down. You feel slightly motion sick just from the speed. It's just not what you're used to. And he's like, "Here you are, ma'am." He kind of looks at the sky. Oh, it's about daytime. Sheriff don't like it when I'm in town during the day.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I'll go visit the sheriff real quick. Kind of like looks around town. Hope no one's awake. Sheriff all tells me that I'm an environmental hazard. I know what that means. He just starts walking.
Have a good day.
Yep.
And I'll start looking for the crew. If I assume they might have slept.
Did you sleep, Rue? Or would you have stayed up most of the night doing the harvesting and stuff?
Gilmaru Sapphire.
Unless she got any bad vibes from the village, now she's out.
Cool.
I mean, an hour? I just got up from an 8-hour rest. I think I'm probably going to be staying up.
Fair. So, Yeah, you pretty much would come back to them, and Sapphire probably would have come back with the rabbits that she had as well as the deer. And at this point, she would probably be like laying them down and trying to figure out what to do with them. While Galmar would probably be practicing. I assume you'd be practicing with some of your weapons and stuff.
Probably wouldn't even be doing anything that looks all that fancy. No, never mind. Is there like an unattended scarecrow that clearly doesn't seem to be a part of a farm or anything like that?
Oh yeah, there's a couple of them.
You just walk up to see him, just like have the scarecrow with the shaft of the axe before proceeding to literally with the gauntlet give an uppercut.
Nice.
Boosh.
Before you ask Sin, I am practicing disarming attack.
Nice.
And she will locate Sapphire. Sapphire, does Sapphire know about, I assume Sapphire's good, like, skinning the animals and such.
She would be like right about to start doing that.
And even though she's tired, does want to help and also maybe collect the bones.
Fair.
So she will.
Sapphire, I assume you're on let her help you skin the animal.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good morning. I'm tired.
Yeah, you sound tired.
I had to.
Sorry, I've been wrong with my sister. Hello.
Good.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm very tired. I had to stand for 8 hours, and I haven't eaten or drank. Dakota will be here soon. I got a ride. He didn't.
I mean, if you're not opposed to...
Sounds like a long night.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm not.
What did Gilmar say?
Sorry, I zoned for a second and thought she was talking to somebody else. My bad.
No.
You're good. Sapphire
Nia will
giving you food.
Nia will settle down to help Sapphire with the carcasses to prepare them.
Nice. The rabbit is not particularly difficult to carve and clean. I will have Sapphire roll. I assume the Sapphire is a higher survival than you do.
Probably. My survival is +4.
Oh wow! Oh, you both have the same amount. So either one of you can roll survival with advantage. I'll leave that up to you two.
Nia will just help. Sapphire can roll with advantage. Nia's tired.
So Sapphire, feel free to roll with advantage. It's getting nice and cold nowadays. It's very nice.
I know,
wow!
It's no longer hot. Ooh, what was it?
That's a nat 20.
Yeah.
That'll be fair. Summer's over in the area.
Yeah. Sapphire has literally been doing this almost her entire life, so her mastery over her carving, she has like a specific knife for carving too, and her mastery over carving this, unmatched. You've been around hunters, you've been around moon druids, nature druids, and stars druids. You don't do it very often, but you have carved before, and a lot of them use bones for carcasses, and you tend to hunt for meat and for vegetables and stuff like that. It's not very often that you'll find a druid who prefers meat to vegetables or fruit, but is typically a good way of getting protein, and is a way of nature, is eat or be eaten. So although it's not a preference for a lot of druids, they still do it. So you've seen people carve before, try to get use all the carcass. The way that Sapphire is carving, and the way that she splits it open, that she takes out the guts, all that fun stuff, it is with a fluidity and a mastery of her craft you have legitimately never seen in your life. Is the smoothest you've ever seen someone do this.
You're so good at this.
Thank you. It's not my first time.
I have some other specialized tools here.
I assume we have like
maybe a rack or something we can tan the hides in the carriage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay, I'll take the hides to the carriage to get them tanned and dried, and I can clean off the rest of the bones while you prepare the meat.
That sounds good to me. Thanks for your help.
Thank you. And Ania will take the stuff back to the carriage to clean it up.
Nice. So you guys kind of divvy up the stuff, start splitting it up. She starts taking care of the meat, either putting into small bundles to be able to use later, or probably making a nice little tiny meal for everyone for the morning. At this point, Dakota, you will have gotten back. Rue, you will have started to wake up from just kind of the sounds of the meat, which you're very, very used to, as well as the smell of food starting to be cooked.
That's so funny. Yeah, the best way to wake up is when someone's already.
You just wake up to the sounds of skinning an animal, and you're like, reminds me of home.
Wow.
And I kind of come back and like maybe I see like the meat there, and I'm just like, yeah, is that fresh or? Kind of looks
Asking
really
Sapphire.
awkward.
All right, asking Sapphire, I assume.
Yeah, we just brought it back from a hunting gathering.
Huh.
She did it all by herself. It's so impressive.
Very impressive. He like kind of hesitates for a moment before kind of like looking around, see if he can like non-awkwardly see if there are other options.
There's like some berries and like other vegetables, like maybe some potatoes or carrots or something that are laid out that they scrounged up on the table.
Quite a few days worth of rations.
Kind of like slinks over and just kind of like eats those things while hoping nobody's looking at him.
We will protect this man.
Oh. Yeah, don't be sad, eat the carrots. She gives thumbs ups.
Don't be sad, eat the carrots. I want that on a shirt.
Oh, thank you, miss. Thank you.
Oh, no worries.
All right.
I just want to ask,
how many healing herbs did we get so I can give
That's
them?
a good question. Roll me 2d8.
and while Rue does that, were they close enough to the carriage for Ania to hear it?
Hear what exactly?
Them talking about the carrots, because I want to make a joke.
Yes.
And I don't. Okay. It's why he's so orange. All the carrots. And you hear that from the carriage.
You will have gotten 8 bundles of healing herbs.
Nice. I'm gonna go like sway and like sashay over to Ania and be like, "Here you go, please and thank you."
Thank you. And she'll excitedly take the bundles, but she is very tired. She is like visibly tired. Like, I'm gonna sleep after we leave. I'll do this later.
It's okay. Have a good rest.
Thank you.
You see Joran walk out of the sheriff's house, and he just kind of waves to Rue before just fucking speeding off into the woods.
She startles like a cat with a really not happy face, her face, and she scampers away.
I just imagine just like in the split second he just sprints off like 2 or 3 seconds afterwards, the door to the sheriff's office opens, it's just like the sheriff pops out with like a shotgun or something.
He steps out with his trusty sword in his hands, and he just slowly looks around the town.
Bustling. It's bustling.
Just bustling. But yeah, you guys pretty much get all of your stuff settled up, gathered and organized, and all of your rations packed up to make sure you have enough food for honestly quite a few days, and it's very well-rounded meal pastry too. Cyril comes out pretty much with Fluffy at this point, and he says that Fluffy is ready to go. The carriage, as Ania also checked, is fully stocked with whatever you guys really needed. Fresh water is very important right there as well, and they got that from the well. So the carriage is stocked up, you guys are stocked up, all your rations are good, and he says that you guys can leave at any time.
Well, there goes the thought of a warm-up in the morning. Just before looking over at Rue. What say you raise to 30 push-ups in the back of the carriage?
Oh. I would say you're on and you're last.
Oh, it's really on. You just
I
said
call upon my
already
duty.
moving towards the carriage.
And he is already asleep back there.
Dakota just looks at you guys like disturbed.
Let's see. I think
Muscleheads.
Yeah, I think it's athletics from the both of you. We'll see which one wins out this power of endurance. Wow.
Why is it every time Oh my.
This time Rue is unable to keep up. She is good with running. Push-ups, a little bit less.
Oh, come now. You're only just waking up. I suppose it wasn't exactly a fair fight, was it?
Rue? Did she die?
Let me
He's
see.
dead.
Oh
I guess
no!
so.
The push-ups killed her.
Oh no!
my God.
Oh, just lose connection. Oh, are you back? Hello? Can you hear us? Can we hear you?
The push-ups murdered her.
Oh no!
Push-ups killed her.
Oh no.
Oh no! Did your microphone die?
Push-ups.
Oh shit!
Oh no.
There you are.
Hello? I think you pushed up out of the
Oh, there
fucking
you are.
galaxy or something. What the fuck?
She's alive. She's back.
Push up so hard to shake the carriage.
Bro. I was gonna say that like her arms are like quaking as like she's pushing up, but now I'm thinking that the dead silence. I think she just like passed out for a second.
I'm just having to just say he was not only doing push-ups, just like shoving himself into the air and doing a quick clap every time or something like that.
I'm trying to sleep.
The resonance of your claps is throwing off my groove. Your goodness.
Apologies.
Hey, there's a raid. Hello, Ashling. Before we go any further, let me welcome the raiders. So welcome raiders to
Hi, raiders.
Purgatory Corner. Hi. Welcome to the library. Thank you for the follow, Undead Commander. Thank you. Hello, Dux, Dread. So welcome to the library. Welcome, Vashog. Welcome, Wisp. Wow, a lot of folks chatting today. Hello and welcome. Good to see you. Welcome, Dersh. Welcome to the library, Wisp. Thank you. No problem, Ashling. No problem to raid and run. Absolutely. If you need to take time to get water, get food, get raid and run, you probably had a very long stream. I hope it was an amazing one. Feel free to go and do that. Wonderful. We hit our followers goal of 150. Thank you guys. Thank you. Follower goal. Hell yeah. So welcome to the library. For those that don't know who we are Purgatory Corner. Purgatory Corner is basically our lore is that we are an interdimensional plane inside of Purgatory, where wandering souls like the rest of you guys get to come in, and you guys get to kind of mosey around before final judgment, whatever that might be, and you guys get a sentient library which can tell you guys all of stories that you may wish to know. It is run primarily by me, but Dakota here is also a streamer on the channel, as well as my friend Rogue on Thursdays. And if you guys want to fill out your own personal bookshelves, there is a add to shelf redeem here if you guys want to click that, and it will allow you guys to put a book on your own personal shelf in the library. It also helps me to keep track of who's here and lets me see you guys in the future. Today we're doing some D&D, and I'm always happy to see more folks join for this. Right now, one of our party members, Cyril, is currently out because he is sick, but eventually he'll be coming back. So hopefully you guys really enjoy what you guys are seeing. We do all kinds of variety streams here, from gaming to D&D to homebrewed campaigns and stuff like that. So as always, if you guys need to run a raid and run, feel free to do so. Absolutely. Get that dinner, get that breakfast, get that whatever you guys are going on. And for the rest of you, I would love for you guys to stick around and see. And if you guys want to see some of the backstory or the previous, context to everything, you guys are welcome to go check out all of our socials here. One of them is our YouTube, Tables of Tartarus. That is where the other 6, I think we're on episode 7, other 6 episodes are. And you guys can listen to them while, you're doing any kinds of chores or driving for a long time. That's what Cyril does.
Yeah,
Or
7 already.
dinner. I know, we're already on episode 7. It's crazy. And we always do this every Friday at 6 p.m. PST. So if you guys want to listen to that whenever you guys get a chance, or if you're free on those days, we're always welcome to see you. Always happy to see you guys. Now, as we were saying, you guys are all stocked up. You got your resources, you got your rations, you guys got your carriage fully filled up. Cyril is allowing you guys to get everything ready. You guys have entered the push-up scene where Gelmar, our fighter, and Rue, our cleric, are currently doing push-ups against one another inside the back of the
Carriage.
Thank you. So,
Race to 30.
dun 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 dun. And our fighter has definitely won that battle.
No, this can't end like this, friend. It's like your last dying breath.
And a Neo or Druid is currently attempting desperately to sleep in the back of the carriage, while Sapphire, the ranger, is, I assume, outside the carriage along with Cyril, just kind of walking through the area. So you guys are heading back to Harmonious Haven. There's not a whole lot that happens on your way there.
Didn't even mention Dakota. Tisk
Oh, yeah.
tisk.
Dakota, what are you doing in the back? You resting?
I
What are you
figured I'd
doing?
just kind of sit there, maybe
Sleep.
ponder as I write, in my journal thing.
Oh,
What-
there you go.
Yeah, I figure you guys probably see him writing in that journal, maybe occasionally, at night or something. But he
Mhm.
seems to be pondering more than usual.
Yeah.
And watching the 2 nut jobs get weirdly into push-ups.
Pretty much.
Like the end scene where we're fighting to the death. No, it can't end here.
we can't end here. It's not enough. And Dakota
30
is
isn't enough.
Dakota is our resident warlock as well inside this area. But yeah, so you guys have, I think I said about a 3-day journey, if I recall correctly, from Glimmering to Harmonious Haven. Is there anything you guys particularly want to do during that period of time? Or we can just skip on to you guys entering Haven.
I mean, I was going to suggest a sparring match, but that's kind of meaningless because we're on our way back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ania is going to be making all those potions. I think I have 2 extra bundles in addition to the 8 that Rue gave.
I think so.
And I can make 3 now per night, so I'll make 9 healing potions.
Nice.
Yeah.
Only thing I can really say that Gilmore is likely to be doing is running rudimentary repairs on equipment. Naturally, I can only do rudimentary because I've only got the tiny mallet and no way to forge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what about the leather and bones?
The leather and bones, you would be able to get those from the carcasses, from the deer carcass specifically.
Mhm.
I mean, you could get from the rabbits, but they're a little bit too small. They're not super useful
Yeah.
for a whole lot. Aside from stew.
So Ania has a bone collection in the corner. She has the whole deer skull.
It's just staring at your party right in the corner.
My bone collection.
Oh, that's normal.
Dakota's just sitting there, right, and looks up, and it's just staring at him.
Oh. Hmm. That's
If we're on one of the trips.
Hmm?
Well, I was like, oh, if we were on one of the trips, it would have been funny just to cast haste on somebody while we're going. Since we're just on a trek somewhere. But maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you guys could totally do that. Yeah, just you guys are walking, Roos just slaps someone on the back, you fucking casting haste and shit.
Oh no, just cast haste on the horse.
Oh yeah,
Fluffy!
Oh
Fluffy,
no.
Just like the horse, just the horse pursuits just like Tokyo Drift.
Oh my gosh, you hear the music coming and the people are scared. Like, oh, it's that sound.
Fucking thunderous hooves.
I do have enhanced ability.
Oh my gosh, double time it.
Oh no.
And the horse
no.
breaks a leg from going faster.
No! We
You
don't want
used
to.
enhance ability. It's like I can't stop now.
Oh
It's
no,
okay,
I just assume that haste literally just slows the perceptions for how fast time is going around them, so they just don't even realize they're going faster.
Oh my god.
We'll just
I'm
make
not
sure
sure
to
if Cyril would allow us.
I know, right? Theoretically, that would
Theoretically.
happen. And then I would just
dude.
like keep healing them so they could keep going.
No! We wouldn't do that to Fluffy.
It's like, oh god,
that would be
broke
more-
its leg. Cure wounds. I'm alright now.
No. That totally sounds like a hero team to me.
Okay,
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure at least 3 of us have that spell.
What's that?
I
Nia?
have in my notes now to ask Cyril if it's okay to use magic on Fluffy for the future.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Can we
Yeah.
haste your horse? Make it so we can go through areas faster. Terrible. Alright, so you guys mostly just busy up your time. You make some potions and generally practice some of your techniques or some of your spells that you guys have learned. For all those new viewers, they are now level 6, so they do have quite a few techniques and tactics that they are slowly learning as the path goes on. But you guys eventually get back into Harmonious Haven. Let me pull up that map for you guys.
Right.
There we
Oh,
go.
and I need to do my roll.
Oh, yeah.
1d6 for my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
Nice. All right, so you guys are back in Harmonious Haven. As I said before, is a 3-stage area. The outskirts, or the furthest outer circle, is where most of the people are. This is where like a lot of the other species are, orcs and some goblins, but mostly humans and all kinds of folks like gnomes as well tend to take populace out here. It's the survival district. It's where they are to keep track of everything going on, and it's also where they make sure that no one really gets in without them knowing about it. And then you have Technolopolis, which is the center area, the middle ring, I should put it, where mostly humans and gnomes reside, and primarily is an invention zone, and they tend to invent a lot of stuff using bombs or explosives. And then the Inner Sanctum is the very center, and that is primarily where the politicians reside, as well as some of the city government, basically, and some of the ambassadors from other cities tend to go in and make rules and decisions and things surrounding the general area around them. You guys, I believe, are most familiar with Technolopolis, if I recall correctly. But yeah, so you guys enter through the outskirts. You guys generally see the area around you is exactly as you remember it. A lot of people just kind of learning a melding pot of life, basically. I don't think there's too much of interest for you guys out in the outskirts. I will say, like, Cyril steps off to the side a little bit, finds a raven, and seems to read a note from it before sending off again and hang back with you guys. Is there anything else in the outskirts that you guys want to interact with before you get to Technolopolis?
Honestly, I kind of just want to go and deliver that information for the quest and then go and do my business.
Yeah.
Is the guild in Technolopolis? I thought it was in outskirts.
The guilds in Technopolis, that makes it so that
Okay.
they have an easier time setting up so they don't get attacked by random bandits and stuff.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nia's fine with going straight to the guild. She will keep an eye out for possible clothing shops to get some better, because she currently has like a whole shoulder missing out of her cloak and shirt or something.
Okay.
I think just her shirt. So she'll just keep an eye out for a store to visit later.
Cool. Inside the outskirts, you do see a few areas. They mostly deal with rags or tailors or stuff like that. Inside Technopolis, you do see a few more stores that are more designed for specific fittings and a little bit more expensive clothing and making it a little bit more seamless. Essentially, it's like if you're poor, go to the outskirts. If you're less poor, go to Technopolis. But you do see a couple of them inside Technopolis, which would probably fit your needs. But you guys head on your way. Cyril stops Fluffy just outside of the guild hall, kind of patting him down. You guys all get out and go.
I just remember that Gelmar has a bunch of metal to sell later.
Oh yeah, you do. The tower shield, the scale mail, stuff like that. Yeah, you guys do have quite a few things to
I was
sell.
going to straight up just take that straight to the forge after I'm finished here to like grind off all of the rust and get to the useful metal bits underneath.
Ooh, very smart, actually. Yeah, that'll sell for a much prettier penny than the rusted ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. So you guys go into the guild hall, which is a very lovely area. Couple tables sat down. On the left, there's a couple areas. It would be about a couple days. It'd be about probably noon that you guys get there. So they the table set up on the left, which is for a bunch of travelers, traders, or stuff. They're all set up with a couple people saying there. Rare for me to hear someone talk about cleaning metals to see usable material. I'm impressed. Yeah, Gelmar is very good at that. But you guys see them like traveling and trading and stuff like that over there. A lot of people come into the guild hall to find bounties, to talk about different materials that they need or that they can sell for missions that people are looking for. Someone is specifically looking for copper. A lot of artisans or adventurers will be able to sell that copper that they just find, stuff like that. That's what most of the people on the side there are set up for. You guys go up, and I don't. Oh, let me remember what her name was real quick. I feel bad for not remembering. Carla, thank you. You guys walk up and you see Carla standing there, and she smiles and nods. She's like, "Ah, you're back."
Was not. I can't decide if I want to say it was a lot more uneventful or a lot more interesting than I was expecting.
There were no bandits.
Ah.
Couple of stray delinquents and a most
And the necromancer.
You all hear just the entire bustling room just kind of get quiet for a second as all eyes slowly turn to the cleric who says that.
She smiles.
A necromancer.
I mean, it certainly looked like all the minions he brought with him and summoned were awfully patchwork.
Huh. That's worrying. And you all survived a necromancer?
Somehow, apparently. Just staring at his arm.
Ania points at the missing cloth in her shoulder.
I would imagine Cyril will be better to recount his own physical strength. It looked like he was the one who managed to bring a mage down, so to speak.
Huh. Well, that's news. You clearly see she's just desperately trying to think of a way to answer that without being insulting to your group. But she like looks at you and looks at her book and just kind of shrugs before she reaches under and hands you guys a small bag of gold. I don't remember quite what the I don't think she ever told you guys the price of it, did she?
I don't think so. I don't have it written down.
It was more than last time, remember? Because we were like,
yeah.
hey, that's more than last time. Like 5
Yeah,
gold or something? I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she
think
said it was going to be.
Uh-huh.
She said it's going to be like a tier above what we usually get.
I think you guys were in the silvers back then. So yeah, she would basically give you guys a bag full of 30 gold, 5 for each.
Oh, dang!
Yeah, so
Nice.
she'll place it down, hand it to you, and she's like, "Well, we do appreciate your protection for the town. Hopefully, the sheriff there didn't give you too many issues. I know he has some troubles with the adventurers when they go through his town."
I was hoping to improve relations, so I made sure to stay a little bit longer to bless one of the fields.
Well, that is good to hear. We do need that town on our side more often than not. Well, I have to get this information to some of the higher ups. If there really is a necromancer over there, or was, that is bad spelling. Come back tomorrow. We'll have another mission for you.
Sounds lovely. Also seems a good opportunity to go get to work down at the forge. Gelmar says, turning around. Oh, but before I go, he says, turning back.
Yes.
I don't suppose you have many details about local rumors, do you?
Not too many. What are you looking for exactly? I might be able to help further down. We get a lot of people saying a lot of things in here.
Gelmar just reaches into his pack, pulls out the cloak and the emblem, and places them on the desk.
Oh.
Two of the 3 delinquents were wearing this attire. Or one of the delinquents was wearing these. I don't suppose you know much about its origins, do you?
You see her like staring at it, and it's not a good look on her face. She is not happy seeing you. Do you mind? She gestures to the cloak, clearly asking if she can have it.
Of course. Can't exactly examine it without that.
She picks it up and starts looking through it, feels the cloth. This emblem. Well, there's been a couple of bandit groups that have been popping up lately. One of them you likely know well, the Crimson Talons, but they primarily stay near the Elysian Glade, near where the elves are. They tend to make their way towards here, but not very often. So we don't have to worry about them very much in Haven. There's a secondary group that has been rising up within probably the last 5 years or so, very recent, especially considering most of these groups are so old. They have been arising inside of the dwarves' territory. We hear about them every now and again from the dwarves, but they're more of a nuisance to the dwarves than anything else. They are, I have a name for them. Where's my notes? Can you move properly? There you are. They are, they are named the Obsidian Wyvern. We're not really sure too much information past that, aside from we're told by the dwarves that they hunt dragons. I know, a silly thought, considering most dragons are extinct at this point, but for some reason they...
Wasn't dispatching the Endling what brought... remind me again what the offensive guild was named?
Oh my god, I should know this off the top of my head. Hold on.
Shields.
No,
No,
not the
that's,
shields.
Oh.
Shields of the Guardians.
That is the Swords of Carmine was the offensive one. Shield Tharok was the defensive one.
Wasn't it destroying the Endlings what brought the swords to the beginning of their guild? How would there be
Yes.
any more?
The Carmine, about 800 years or so ago, was the last one to have seen a dragon, at least in registered history that we've seen. The Kenkus are really good about keeping up on making sure that our history is up to date. However, we're not really sure why they would be trying to hunt something as elusive as a dragon. We haven't seen one for over 800 years, so it's rumored that they're extinct. If there are more, they're hiding. And if they're hiding, what's the point of trying to find them? It's a very confusing cult, because there's no reason for them to exist. And yet they do.
I suppose cults tend to arrange themselves to be dedicated simply to a purpose and companionship. Or at least, that's what the word on the street is.
Indeed. As to why they would be so far south of where they reside, that can only spell something bad. Do you mind if I keep this?
Of course.
I can give it back to you tomorrow after I bring this up to the higher-ups.
It would be.
Insight check.
Feel free.
Okay.
Galmar is way too trusting.
Good job.
17.
You can tell she looks the best way I can describe it is she looks afraid at the implications of what these items mean, especially with the knowledge, with the assumed knowledge of the necromancers that you guys fought. She seems honest when she says she'll bring it back. Past that, you can just feel fear coming off of her.
Okay, thank you. Ania says nothing.
Okay.
I will pop up. Rue says about the. Do you know what happened to the elven village that was there before, when the tower was destroyed?
First off, hi Wazi, welcome to the stream. As to the tower, she would look at you and just kind of be like, the tower next to the meadows?
Oh, right.
And Ania will
Right.
take out the journal and put it on the counter as well.
What's this?
We found it in the watchtower that the supposed bandits were hiding out in. It belonged to a Moonshadow elf. Leonin, I think. I should
Interesting.
double check my notes.
I think it was pronounced Leiden, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Leiden.
Leonin Moonshadow.
Interesting. She'll look at Rue for a second and go, the watchtower was originally part of a larger expedition of elves. They tend to create large areas and heavily fortify them against like bandits and things like that. There's no real record as to how it was destroyed, but most of us assume that it was from the orcs. Probably orcs laid siege to it, and while their tactics are difficult. As to the book, she picks up and runs through it, kind of flipping through the pages. Interesting. It's a wizard's spell book. Very impressive. Are you willing to sell this?
She'll look at it a second, and she's like,
Isn't it a spell book?
yeah, she wants to ask about the spell book.
You want to buy it?
Yes, we tend to take records like this for the books of Seraphina. They often use these spells as a way to learn more about the magic behind the people who made them, as well as we have the ambassador Silverleaf in town currently. They did an emergency meeting a couple days ago, so she'll be on her way soon. And if this is from one of the three families, this was likely a someone she knew.
Ania will be okay with that, but she will check with the rest of the group to see if anyone wants to hold on to it for now. She'll like look at the rest of the group.
Rue shrugs.
I never was very good with spells from a book.
Nia will turn back. She says,
I'm okay with that as long as it's going to someone who might have known the person. That sounds lovely.
Indeed. These are a lot darker spells than you would normally find in a high elf's book, but it should be valuable for research. She kind of like puts her hand under the desk and fishes around, and then she pulls out a much heavier bag and places it down. I'll trade you 60 gold for it.
Nia will gladly take
barter.
it, no question. She's not even. She's not going to barter, but the others can try to step in.
Wait a second. When one buys a lamb, you don't just buy it straight up. It's a spell book. And while farmers don't care for spell books, there has to be more than just this.
It's a precious
Ania will-
memory to the ambassador, I can assume, and being able to give someone of that power inside of the High Elven Kingdom who has such connections with her something as valuable as this, it would greatly establish better principles between our communities.
Would we see a favor?
A favor? I suppose you could ask her directly.
Ania is wide-eyed because she's never seen this much money in her life, and she's just looking between the two. She's like, I was. She doesn't say anything.
I can put in a word for your group, and I'm sure after I have a discussion with my higher-ups, we could arrange a meeting between you and the ambassador. You can give her this yourself.
Dakota kind of startles slightly. It's like, Ambassador?
Indeed.
And Silverleaf is the book's guild leader, right?
No. The book's guild leader you guys don't know. Silverleaf is specifically Alicia Silverleaf. She is the ambassador of the High Elven Kingdom to Harmonious Haven. You would know her primarily from the title of the ambassador in the town. A lot of the there's Dwarven one, there's a Gnomon one, there's also a what's the cat one called? Tabaxi one. But she's normally known as the ambassador just because of her presence is so big. Not many people in the High Elven community like her, because she advocates very heavily for connection between the kingdom and Haven, and often protects them. She is also not liked very much by the Haven, because she outright sees people with less of a lifespan as lesser than them. So she's kind of on the shit end of both towns, but she is an incredibly necessary part of it. Because without her, the High Elves just wouldn't deal with Haven at all, and they get most of their supplies from the High Elf at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Turns like building supplies and shit.
But
Dakota kind of like
to meet them.
Dakota kind of like startles and be like, I'm sorry, what are we doing again?
Well, if you're willing
going
to
to go
trade
meet the
this book to
ambassador.
us, I would be happy to set up a meeting between you and the ambassador, and allow you to put in a word to see if she can give you a favor for something.
And the 60 gold. Rue
And
pushes.
the 60 gold, yes.
That sounds fair enough of a deal for the crop that we have harvested.
Very well.
Ania's just like very saucer-eyed, like, okay.
She hands you the 60 gold, which is on top of the 30, by the way, so both bags are in front of you. It is a lot of gold.
Ania picks up the 60 gold bag and just sort of hugs it while still holding her staff somehow.
You do feel a few eyes on you, by the way.
Ooh.
So come back tomorrow, and I should have talked to my supervisors by then, and we can arrange that meeting for you, as well as inform you on your next journey.
Thank you.
Sounds
you.
wonderful.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Dakota's so psyched about this.
Are you well, Dakota?
What?
Are you well?
Yeah, I haven't slept in a bit. Yeah.
It may be worth turning in early. I'll see about renting you a room at the inn later.
Shopping!
Yeah.
Shopping time.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys exit the guild hall back into Harmonious Haven, and you guys now have a little bit of money.
Money! And
Ooh.
Eyes at our backs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make way for the forges directly because
Okay.
I have a deal I want to cut with the forge master there.
Very nice, very nice. So you do make your way over there, and we'll look at that real quick. I don't have a map for it, but that's fine. As you get there, you do go into the forges, and you get to meet a very old friend of yours, who is also someone that you now know is relatively famous, Borin Ironfist. So you walk in, and Borin is this very sturdy dwarf. He is much thicker than a lot of them, and his bicep is practically the size of your head. And he's currently forging just at anvil, just pounding away at incredible armor pieces. Absolutely, most of these armor pieces probably would be more durable than most of the stuff that you guys got by miles. They're also probably 4 times as expensive as anything on the general markets.
Good evening, Borin. It's been
Ah,
a fair
welcome.
bit, hasn't it been?
Indeed, it's been a couple months since you've fed, I believe. What can I do for my friend?
Well, as a matter of fact, I actually came bringing. I would love to say fresh supplies, but definitely could still use a bit of work. More along the lines of, I would like to offer or to refine them myself, if that would suit your needs. I'd imagine they could make decent product here in the future.
Hand them over. Let me see what you got.
I'm gonna pull out the 2 rusted short swords, the small shield, the tower shield, the leather armor. I'm probably not going to because we probably don't do much with that here, and the rusted scale mail.
Nice. He's gonna look over it, and he's gonna gently parade through, and he's like, a lot of rust here, a lot of damage, old, some water damage. Not too bad though. Shave it off, clean it down, melt it.
Indeed. I would
Be pretty
imagine
good.
that there'd be a fair bit of useful metal underneath all this rust. And I would be
Indeed.
more than happy to wear down that rust myself, if need be.
Well, that's why I have you here. So, if you if you scrape off this stuff, simmer it down, melt it down, I'll even let you sell it to me. We'll see how good you are.
Ah, yet another test. Sounds lovely.
Indeed. Better you get this mel looking by the time you smelt it. Welcome, Grassman. The more you smelt this down, better you get done, better you refine it, I'll give you a better price. We'll see how good you're. Yeah, hopefully you haven't rusted in the last couple months, eh?
Sounds like a lovely way to get my feet wet again, so to speak, he says, walking up to the grindstone to get started.
Nice.
Hey, Sin, I'm going to trigger the passive effect of my Fire Giant's rune, which gives me advantage. Or wait, was it an advantage? I need to double check. It gives me a bonus to using tools that I'm proficient with, and I would assume this would qualify as Smith's tools.
Nice. It would indeed. And
Before the roll, are we there? Did we follow Gelmar to the place?
if you guys want to, yeah.
Let's see. Proficiency bonus is counted twice for ability
Wait.
checks made with proficient tool.
Don't roll it yet. I would like to do Cosmic Omen.
Ooh, okay.
I rolled even today, which means I'm able to give whenever a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is about to make an attack, saving throw, or ability check, I can use my reaction to roll a d6 and add the number rolled to the total.
Nice. And I'm also going to have you be doing your smithing tools with strength instead of intelligence, because at least to me that makes more sense to me. For your character specifically.
Smith's tools is already by default on strength, it looks like here. Or maybe we already made that change in manual. Ago. Fair enough. Yeah. Let's see. Situational bonus, that would be +3.
You get +1.
Make that +4. Okay. Rolling. Okay.
All right. That's a fucking 24. Goddamn. You are crafting this shit with excellence. This is just very nice material for you to work with. You've worked with rusty material before. You've worked with difficult to use stuff before, water damage and broken, dented reframe stuff. So you're very used to the process of grinding it out and then superheating it, melting it down, recasting it, reforming it, reshaping it. Primarily, you're doing this in terms of ingots instead of actually shaping into the other form, as the ingots can be smelted at a different time for the Forge Master to be able to use them in the future. Just gives him more bang for his buck, basically. Indeed. The rest of you guys, I assume, were just watching him, and your guys are watching Gelmar at just the peak of his craft at this point, basically. He is doing it for probably about an hour, maybe more, and it's honestly a spectacle to watch. As eventually he gets done, he hands it over to the Forge Master, and the Forge Master looks it over, and you can honestly tell the Forge Master is impressed. Legitimately very impressed by the sheer amount of ingots that you get, but also the quality of the ingots as well. As he looks it over, he's like, "Very well done, boy. You've gone leaps and bounds."
I haven't seen that look in your eyes since the last time. And we gained a strong veteran.
Yes. It's been years since you've produced something of this quality as well. And even then, back then, you were using high quality material. This time you're using, well, shit.
Well, diamond in the rough, as they always say.
Indeed. He puts down the ingot to his side, and he's like, "Alright, well, the best I can do for you is about 15 gold.
I actually had another request I would like to issue for this, actually.
Oh?
How about I will trade you the ingot for a couple of the extra tools to complete my set, he says, as looking down at his chisel and hammer.
Just some tools? You don't need no weapons or nothing?
I think my axe suits me just fine as it is on the outside stretch, unless my companions need a few, he says, turning over to the rest. Above game, basically, I'm just trying to see if I can talk him into letting me keep enough tools to complete a set of smith's tools.
Mm-hmm.
Ania does not want any of the metal, but she is very fascinated and is watching, but she does not want any metal.
Nice.
I'm thinking about whether or not I have enough gold to even, try to look for things, but probably not. It says it's magical, so I don't think the magic stuff is happening here.
Yeah, he uses no magic inside of his shop. You guys are aware that most blacksmiths work with pure metal, and then most elves work with pure magic. The only time the two are ever combined is when you have an elf and dwarf working together, which is very rare, and usually in only very specific areas. Well, I can get you some tools real easy, like. How about this? I'll give you tools and 7 gold.
Ooh, sounds lovely.
All right. He like walks into the back, grabs a bunch of stuff, puts into a bag, and hands it to you, as well as a second, very small leather bag that's just full of coins. There you are.
Thank you, Visa, is taking it.
Not a
And
problem. It's a wonder to see you work.
It is. It felt wonderful to at least give that hammer a few swings for this purpose again. Maybe I'll have to stop by here again sometime later before I depart again tomorrow.
Always be nice to see you. Where are y'all lot going this time around?
We're not quite sure. A job is yet to be revealed to us.
I remember those days, venturing like a young'un, going across the dangerous seas, powering through tornadoes and all kinds of whirlwinds and shit. Good times.
Gilmar just like legitimately he's sitting down just gleefully listening.
I forgot how much you enjoy my stories, boy.
I can't lie. I found the tales of travelers in general just fascinating in all senses of the word.
Ooh,
Well,
I should
what
introduce you to one of my
astounding.
friends sometime.
oh? Who'd that be?
Oh, I know someone named Life Learner who has lots of stories.
Life learner. I ain't know much about that boy. He's a kind hard man, but he's very, very isolated.
Yes, he's grumpy.
Most folks are. If you lot would like to stay for a little bit, I can tell you about a story of mine from my youngin' days.
Oh, do tell.
Ania will look to the others.
Rue sits down. Starts kicking her.
Dakota and Sapphire seem you both sit down too.
Yeah, Dakota kind of sits down, but like he's like kind of tuned out of a lot of things right now.
Dakota's just out of it.
Yeah,
Getting sad.
he kind of has this like haunted, pondering expression on his face. It's only until like everybody else sits down that he's like, "Oh, I'm supposed to sit down too."
I
Ania
love the
will,
idea that for the last couple days, every time Rue has looked at Dakota, she just like gives him something.
Ania
like,
will
here's
walk
something.
over and give both Gelmar and Dakota a little pat on the head, like on Dakota's hat, and then
Aw.
she sits down.
You all kind of sit in front of him. The heat of the forge is still going, so it's a little bit hot in the area. The forge master and Galmar probably don't even notice, but the rest of you guys, it's uncomfortably hot. It's not like obscenely. But he walks over, grabs a chair, sits down in it, and this man makes this chair look tiny as he sits down. He's like, "Well, long time ago, youngins, I was part of a group called the Iron Wayfarers. I assume you guys have heard of me before?"
In passing, though, it's pretty rare that I've gotten too many tales.
Well, it was a nice little group of ours. We had my good friend Ulrich. That's how you say it. My good friend Ulrich. He was he was a mighty beast, that one. He disappeared some time ago, but that man could fight a whale and win without even losing his breath. We also had Kalathra. She was a mage of the highest potential I have ever seen. He just kind of like looks to the side for a minute. Also, she was damn pretty, but her ability to create all kinds of magics always blew me out of the water. I at one point wanted to team up with her and make some of my armor magified, but yeah, she never took to it very well. We had a wonderful ranger, Sylvana. Good girl. Very, very, very closeted, though. What if? Just like you. He points to Ania. But she liked the
Yay.
forest a lot more than humans. She's still in there, I reckon, somewhere. But she likes being with her wolf. And we have Varus. That man had a chip on his shoulder. Good man, though. Very rare to see a tiefling nowadays, but good man.
I knew him.
Oh, you did you? How's he doing?
Yeah. He's doing pretty alright for himself.
I'm glad to hear. The man walked with the demons that were inside of him, inside and out. Poor fellow. But he was a strong fellow. Anyways, back then, oh, it was a long time ago. We were surfing on seas. You know, we had a wonderful boat. I built her myself, my own 2 hands. It's the running fair. Built her from ground up. Every board I placed down, every board I fixed, every railing, every mast, everything of that ship I put together with my own 2 hands. Good times, good times. And we set sail one day. Ulrich was the kind of man who would say, "We're going this direction," and we just kind of followed. What we're doing that direction, no one knew. He just kind of went with it. He kind of journeyed, but we had faith in him. We always had faith in that boy. And we sailed across the sea. All you fine folk, you're adventurers, ain't you? So you should know. He kind of like pulls out a map of the world, and he kind of points to the bottom right region, right past the Zahargan marshlands. And he goes, "Down here is a vast whirlpool. No one's ever been there. No one's ever encountered it, ever dealt with it, ever tried to deal with it. And but Ulrich was the kind of man who saw this as a challenge. He said, "There's an uncharted location. We're going to chart it." So we got into our boat, we sailed around, we started in Garth Wastes, and we went down, we went to the east, and then we went north again. All kinds of places, we saw all kinds of folks. You go too far off the coast, you're going to hit the rapids, you're going to hit the rifts. You don't want to go that far, but go a little bit back, you'll hit that whirlpool. It's a bad time to be in there. But we got onto the ship and we held steady. We hit the whirlpool, it took us up to the sky. We flew in our little ship. It was not durable for it, so I fixed her up just recently. I believe she's being used by another captain right now while we're looking for my man. But during time we flew through the air, soaring through the sky. And we found out there's an island above that whirlpool. If you're able to brave it, if you're able to hold on to it, and soar through that sky like a soaring eagle, the wind will cast you upwards with the force of a powerful king, lifting you from the ground, like a giant himself said fly. And as you go up and up and up, we finally landed upon that island, and it was a joy to be seen. I've never seen anything quite as majestic as that island until today. Well, I see you lots. There's a lot of stuff that was on the island, but we didn't take too much. There's a bit of gold on there, and that is all Ulrich wanted to take. A little bit for us to take back home, parade around the area, and say we did it. He also took a big old statue's head, just for proof. And then we had to have the hard difficulty of just shoving the boat off the floating island, which of course we did with majestic powers of Calarothra's spells, but oh boy was that landing way worse. We fell all the way down, and my poor fair runner, she could barely take it. She creaked, she cried, she splintered all across, but I fixed her back up. I fixed her every time. Eventually we got back home, and they named us the Iron Wayfarers for our ability to just tank everything that came to us. Good times.
And Ania is wide-eyed and totally engrossed in this story. She is jived about this.
Gelmar's got like super dilated eyes, straight up with tears pouring down on his face. There's on the smile.
He's like, "Actually, I can show you this." And he stands up. This is like an old man who is like showing stories of him in a war or some shit. And he walks into his closet, and it takes him a minute to like pull it through, because apparently it's very heavy. And he pulls it through, and it's a giant statue head. It's probably like 4 feet tall and like 2 feet wide. And he brings it across to you guys, and it's heavy. And it's made entirely of marble
He has
as
it.
well. Hmm?
Made entirely of what? He
Marble.
just has it, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a pure marble statue head, and he just has it. He just like puts it down in front of you. There's little buddy we got from that island. No one's ever seen something like that before. So of course our tale was recorded and it was sent to the Star Shadow Kingdom as a representation of our builders. Ever since that day, iron wayfarers.
A mark of a long forgotten civilization. I know a lot of individuals that would pay a pretty penny for something like this.
Indeed, but
Shame,
I
but
could
fair
never
enough that
sell
you
this
hold on.
baby.
Fair enough. Very strongly fair. I wouldn't either. He says, looking it over a few times.
Until the day that Ulrich comes back, and I know he will. I'll be keeping this son of a bitch here, and when Ulrich comes back, I'll be putting in his fucking house so you can keep it.
Oh man.
Ania will.
I was wondering why you had it instead.
Can't
Ania
let
will chirp up.
no two-time scoundrel steal it. Nah, they try to steal it, I'll rip their arms off.
Oh, I know you would. I would definitely help if I heard anyone trying that.
What are you gonna say, Neil?
You've been on the sea a lot, right?
Oh yes, all over the world.
Have you ever heard of a metal ship?
A metal ship? Like full metal? Like, got metal rivets in mine.
No, completely metal.
Oh. I don't think I've ever heard of something like that. We've heard ghost stories of a ship that passes from harbor to harbor, and it takes some of the citizens from the nearby towns into the ship, and they never come back. But that was just ghost tales, ghost stories of a ghost sea ship. We never saw it on our way lands, though. What was her name? Sylvana every now and
Clothra?
again said, oh, there's a ship behind us, and when we looked, there was nothing but mist. So we never paid it much attention, but we also never stopped in many port towns. Ulrich preferred just to stop on the side of a beach somewhere and wander about until we got food.
Ooh, wow. Where were the tales of the ghost ship at?
Are oftentimes over in the Elysian Glade. That's where a majority of the people that would tell us about these things were. There's sometimes in Viridian Fields up in, what's the name of it? Riverside Haven. There's a little bit there. There's a secret channel that pops up every winter with winter rains that floods and kind of separates the Zarg marshlands from us, and people have told us that the ship will take the riverside there and split down all the way to Gar Wastes before it travels the continent once more, but I've never put much faith in those words. If I had to guess where a ghost ship would be, or a ship like this, I would either find it in Ironspire Peaks with the dwarven kind, or I would find it in Elysian Glade with all their magic powers. I don't know what could possibly make a ship made of metal float upon the sea, but I'm sure the mages could do something like that.
Oh. Metal ship.
Well, at the very least, it sounds like we have a couple directions. Not that I see it likely that the residents of the Glade are likely to be very informative of information such as that.
Nah.
Oh, they will be if they want you to do the job for them.
Do we even know that they understand that there would be a job there?
Well, they'll tell you all kinds of stories down there, all kinds of things about the ghosts and mysteries and all spooky manners of things. I really just attribute most of it to the Crimson Talons, because well, they tend to do a lot of spooking around, and a lot of people be like, oh, it's a ghost, and it's actually some kind of rogue ranger popping up around the place. Sometimes there are actual ghosts, though. I have seen a couple of them. Good times. I punched one in the face once, made my hand all cold.
Ooh.
It didn't come back.
I hope one day I get to have tales like these.
Well, if you meet a ghost, punch it. Punch it hard.
Galmar did a
I-
really cool thing.
I would gladly.
What was that?
When we were on our last mission, Gilmore ran across a bridge to take down a guy,
Uh-huh.
and the guy threw a dagger at him, and he he didn't throw the dagger at him. He was trying to take down the whole bridge, but Gilmore slapped it out of the way and got the guy in one go.
The glorious skill of deflection, my boy. You have learned.
It's a wonderful tool in every regard, he said, as holding up the gauntlet into a fist. But in
Indeed.
all honesty, I'm not convinced that individual was quite skilled enough to even hit that bridge. He went down in a single. I knocked out his lights in that one punch.
Well, it really depends on how hard you hit him. There are some folks I've met. I once met this fire giant at one point. He was, I don't really recall where he was. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was inside one of the mountainous ranges or something. I don't know, it's been a long time. And I found him, and he was encroaching on my territory because he had this big old pickaxe, and he was trying to get some of the metal that was down there. And I said, no, it's my shit. I found it first. And he didn't seem to take too kindly to that because he threw the pickaxe at me. But then I ran up to him, and I punched him. I punched him so hard he started vomiting all over my arm. Then he punched me.
Gross.
Through several feet of stone. Broke 3 of my ribs. And then I punched him back. It was a good time. Just gently rubs his ribs.
How did that duel go? Did you win?
Of course I won. I punched him more, and then he punched me more. I eventually lost, 2 of my teeth. He, smiles, and you see 2 of his back molars are just gone. And, I think he broke, he kind of starts tapping his ribcage. 1, 2, 4. Broke about 5 ribs, I believe, and he also broke my entire right arm. Although the way he did that was pretty fun. So we were standing there, right? It was 8 foot tall fire giant. There was me, my little short body. I walked up to him, right, and he started shouting at me in whatever language he was speaking. It could be giant, could be orcish, it could be gnome. I don't know. I don't speak that shit. And but he was screaming and shouting at me or something. It was a bare fist brawl. And he looked up at me. He looked down at me. I looked up at him. He had punched me, and I looked up at him, grabbed his arm, and I punched into his gut. Unfortunately, he decided it was a good idea to flex. So I broke my entire arm on his stomach. I didn't like this very much.
That language he spoke of, did it sound anything like this? I'm going to speak in giant, probably say something to the effect of, I come not to honor the fallen, but to bury them.
Very similar. Yeah, different words, certainly, but same language. Yeah. Well, he broke my arm with his abs, and, well, my bone was sticking out. He kind of gestures to his arm. He gestures for him. He's like, there's bone. It was, out here, kind of like a knife. So I stabbed him in the throat.
With your bones?
Yeah. Sylvana beat the shit out of me that day for being so goddamn stupid. Then she had to cure me, and honestly, that hurt a lot worse than it was to break the arm.
Oh, I'll bet. Whew. Don't even want to think about how much pain that would have been for the next couple of hours.
Yeah. Feeling your bones slide back into place. Brutal stuff. We also had to find, shards of it that were lodged inside the fire giant's throat. And we had to pull that out and shove it back in my arm. It was just an awkward sign. He kind of pulls off his bracer, and you guys can see the jagged scar across his arm.
Oh, wow.
Marks of a battle long and past. A
Yeah.
very strong memory, for better and for worse.
We didn't really have one of you folk, he gestures to Rue, so our healing was minimal at best, and our ranger, she loved to heal, but mostly in terms of torture, so not the best at healing for healing,
Well, the scar looks very nice.
I'm glad you think so. Maybe you'll get one too. You do have one, he kind of gestures to your face. It looks a war wound.
Oh, oh, I know. Doesn't it look so nice?
Yeah, you look like you took on a beast of power, like a lion or a griffin.
Given what I've seen her capable of, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, puts his bracer back on. Well, if you need me for too much longer and more stories, I can always tell you some more, or you youngins can get out there and explore and get jiggy with the town. It's very awkward seeing this man do like a shuffle.
Much as I would appreciate it, I'd imagine I should probably stop holding you up from your work, as it stands.
Ah, it's fine. My work isn't too needed in this town too much. Just fix up their armor. They don't really like my prices. Might have to eventually go to Starshout Kingdom, but I fucking hate those guys.
Such a shame. But I suppose that's the way that truly skilled craftsmen go.
Yeah, their money practices are terrible over there. It's awful. There's too many adventurers. There's not enough demand for all the supply they create. It's a bad business scheme. It's bad business.
You'd think that the adventurers in this town would have as much interest in your wares as well.
Oh, they do. They just don't have enough money for it.
Such a shame, such a shame.
Yeah. But I get by.
You know, if you make lower quality gear and sell those, then the adventurers will get stronger and be able to afford the better gear.
That's interesting.
Why on earth would you want to produce low quality gear?
See, I do create some low quality stuff. Namely, I fix up people's broken shit and give it back to them. But you see, the reason that I don't give people my finest equipment, he kind of gestures to the around him, this is all my crap. By the way, when he says that, and you guys look around his shop, this shit is immaculate. This shit is, like, glorious. Like, the swords you guys are using are obviously slightly dented, slightly injured, or whatever. The shit that he shows you guys is pristine. And you're fairly certain you could break your own weapons with the weapons he has in his shop. But he's like, this is all crap. I make this just so I can sell and get business and stuff, and I fix up people's armors and weapons and all that, just to make sure they can continue surviving to another day. But my good shit, well, you know how it's like when you make something that you truly love, and someone takes it, and they give you money for it, and then they leave it outside on a rainy day, and then it gets rust all over it, and then it's just sad and disappointing?
No.
Yes. So dreadful.
He kind of like looks at Anya. You're a druid. What druids do? Imagine if, you got a potato. Yeah, potato.
Yeah.
Right, you got a potato. All right. And imagine someone gave you this potato. Or you gave someone, yeah, better. You gave someone a potato, right? And you watch them stomp on it. How would you feel?
I would wonder why they stomped on it. They must have had a reason.
It's like, you're so nice.
You're a sweetheart.
Potatoes.
It's like, right, they just didn't think about it, and they accidentally stepped on it. But it was like a prized potato. It's like pristine potato. It's like the best potato you've ever had.
I would be very upset.
Yeah. Now imagine.
Even if it was an accident.
Now imagine if you had another prized potato, second best you've ever seen, and you had a shitty potato, right? It works, but it's a shitty potato. Would you give them the shitty potato or the prized potato?
The person who already stomped on the good potato?
Yeah.
I would probably give them the bad potato.
Exactly. That's what I do with my armor, my equipment. All these adventurers, they don't know how to take care of their shit properly. They all just think, oh, we'll just keep it in my sheath during a rainstorm, or we'll throw it in the mud and we'll recover it later. Whatever have. It's just sad. It's just pristine potatoes. Sad potatoes. He
And he will
turns
sagely
around.
nod.
He turns around and he like moves a curtain out of the way. This are my pristine potatoes. As you guys walk in, is a room full of what you guys thought earlier was pristine equipment. This shit is like top tier. Like the metal he uses to make this stuff is probably durable enough to take on a dragon. Like, it is beautiful material, maybe even mithril for some of them, and it is very small quantities, like one dagger, 2 swords, a bow of the just pristine quality. There's metal rivets running all the way through the bow, making it more durable and stronger. It's definitely not the best bow you've ever seen. He probably isn't very good with bows. But then you see, like, this great axe. Oh my god. It makes Gelmar's great axe, which he takes a long time to make his great axe just pristine and good. It makes his great axe look like a pile of crap. It is the most beautiful piece of metal that you've ever seen in this stuff. And he's like, these are my pristine prized potatoes. I make these for fun.
Oh, passion
Those are
projects
nice
are so
potatoes.
important. Super nice, even if I don't really like metal very much.
Yeah. You druids never appreciate my stuff much, which I understand. I would do stuff with bone if I could, but as a craft I'll leave in your capable hands, miss.
Thank you.
Are these metal boys? He, like, grabs the gray axe off the wall, and you can see his arm flex as he does so. It's clearly heavier than Gelmar's gray axe, as he, like, taps it on the ground. It's one of my most pristine items. One of the most beautiful things I have in my entire array of arsenal. Here, boy. He throws at Gelmar. And by throws it, I mean yeets it.
Oh no.
Roll me a strength check, Gelmar.
Gelmar gets sliced in half.
I don't think it's likely to be that serious, but okay. Of course.
Ooh.
Is it a natural? What is it? What
No,
was it?
it's a 10.
6.
Oh, okay, okay, that's
the-
not bad.
It flies through the air, and as you grab it, it slides you back like 2 feet. Like, it's heavy, and it is pristine. You can smell the quality of the metal in this weapon. It is not mithril, but it's damn durable. And it's heavy. Your arms are almost tired just from holding the damn thing.
It's been forever since I felt something of this much with this much heft to it. He said, as carrying it back to the I want to say shelf it was on, but not technically the right term, as he just puts it back up for him.
Yeah.
If only I could wield something like that one day, or more accurately, if only I could find myself forging something of this quality one day.
Well, boy, until you can forge it, well, come back another time, and we'll test your skills. If you can spar against me in single combat, and he smiles at you with a grin, just a very happy grin, I'll let you keep it. I know that you're good for it. I know that you will take care of it better than some of the babies out there. And this boy, he puts his hand on it, and he very gently caresses it. Ania, you don't like Mel very much, but you do know the touch, the loving touch of a proud parent. This is the touch of a man who is touching his child, stroking its hair, is the most love you've ever seen someone give to a weapon before. And he just gently pats it, and he goes, "It seeks blood."
Are you sure it's not cursed?
Oh my
Cursed?
God,
No, it's not cursed. He pulls off again, and he shows you the edge of the weapon. This thing is razor sharp. He could probably cut through stone with this. This poor lad was made for one reason and one reason only. And he starts spinning it around himself, doing like actual movement techniques with it. And it's fluid. It's beautiful. It's stunning. Before he like finally shoves it down onto the ground. But I'm too old to use it. This is for youngins. I need it to go to someone I trust. And he looks at Gelmar. He like taps Gelmar with it, and it's fucking solid. So like you can hear it ring out when he taps it before he puts it back on the shelf. but thirst for blood. All weapons, all offensive tools are made for either defense, to protect yourself, to make sure that you don't die, or for offense, to take down your opponents with vigor and force. And this pure, gentle lady was made to rip a dragon's throat out of its skull. But it's never getting to be used. It's just sitting here, collecting dust. This poor, poor child. He legitimately looks somber when talking about this, by the way.
Where is it? I cannot for the life of me find the name.
What are you looking for?
Boren was his name, right?
Yeah. Boren Ironfist.
Oh, Boren. And as much as I appreciate that gesture, I couldn't take away your baby.
And Ania will chirp up,
He wants to make his own.
Well, boy, do you have the skills to craft something like this yet?
Maybe not today, but hopefully one day.
Aye. He grabs it again and he puts it, he makes you hold out your arms and puts it down in your hands. Tell me, boy, what do you see when you feel this metal?
Count hundreds of years of dedication, skill, and love placed into all
Good.
compiled together into a very, very effective and very handsome blade.
He grabs the gray axe off your back, which more or less it's a gray axe you've had for a very long time, but it's one you found off of Venture. And he puts it onto his axe and he says, "Tell me, what do you feel from this one?"
I feel the couple months that the previous holder had during their own travels, with usability, but no recognition for what could truly be possible with a tool of its like.
Indeed. So tell me.
Ania will frown and interrupt and be like,
You're ignoring all the time it's spent with you, though.
Aww.
He looks over, almost taken aback by that comment. I suppose, but there's still so much more that could be done with the tool of its like, and there's still so much more that it could become. He said, as picking it back up, partially intentionally covering up the indention from last night.
He goes, "Indeed. Now, if you use this weapon, and only this weapon, you will get better with it. But you will never get better at forging something amazing. You will get better at forging something of this quality. You will learn it, you will learn the ridges, you will learn the edges, you will learn the material used to craft it. And that is important."
One who works with a tool for long enough knows where every flaw in its design and its structure lies.
Indeed.
You can only continue. The only way to improve is to keep trying to construct something better, to work beyond the errors that it currently holds.
Indeed.
One day
So what I say for you, my boy, he holds up his gray axe for you as well as you grip it. Spar me sometime in the next couple days, and this weapon will be yours for you to learn and craft. But this one, he gestures to your old axe, don't get rid of it. Keep it. Keep it on your person. And when you feel like you are confident enough to craft something that is as good as the blade that you hold, or even better, use the metal from your old blade. This one, he gestures to the gray axe in front of you. This was made with the metal of my very first sword.
To build something greater from the memories of its past.
Indeed. I have used more metal for this creation than I could fathom to explain to you, because the metal I used in this was hundreds of my old weapons. I have reforged it thousands of times, and each time I made it better and better. This weapon is culmination of every single work of love of its past users, which is why I wish to see you use it. And he grabs it from you and places it back on the shelf. Once I know you are strong enough to hold it, and then I want you to remake it in the future and add on your lineage to the blacksmiths of old who have forged this blade over countless years.
It would be my honor, Master.
Good. And for the rest of you, I don't know. I don't know how interested you are in weapons.
Ania will look at Rue.
Mm, yeah. I always love to cut down a good tree.
I only got the one, sir. Looks down at his gun.
As Rue says that, you just see him sigh softly, and he reaches into a little box on the ground and pulls out a tiny hatchet and hands it to her. You'll cut a tree. You'll cut a tree.
It's so cute. Thank you.
It's well crafted. But he literally just pulled it out of like a tools box that he just had laying around. Everything in here he made himself, but he just kind of grabs it, hands it to you. Yeah, it'll cut a tree. So yeah.
By trees, she means foes.
Oh. That's just a more dejected sigh.
Cutting tree, but cutting bad guys.
Are you a farmer by any chance, miss?
She
Oh,
is.
I am.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Anyway.
Stick to your roots.
So, yep. I just kind of like start shoving you guys out of the room and like slowly closes the shelf, the curtain. So little respect.
One day they'll understand, and he said, as following them.
You can only teach so many things to youngins. So many things.
Perhaps.
Oh, tiny one. He kind of gestures to Nia as he like fishes around in the back a little bit, and then he pulls out a tool and he hands it to you. It is a bone knife. This one is much sharper than almost any you've seen before. And he goes, I know you don't like metal, so this is a bone knife. I have something better than this, but I don't know your capabilities just yet. This bone knife was made by me. As you can tell, he kind of runs his finger along the length of it. It's sharp. Don't cut yourself.
Ania will perk up and look it over, making sure there's no metal in the design.
There
and
is
she'll
not.
perk up and she'll say,
I don't think I can beat you in a spar.
You're a druid, child. I don't need to fight you. We have different practices, we have different experiences, and different life goals. Your power is not one that I need to judge, for your ability to fight is not what this tool is for. This tool is for carving, for crafting, and for all kinds of manners of cutting and preparation. If you use this in a battle, I will cry.
I swear I never will unless it's an emergency and I really, really need to stab someone.
Smart. If you do need to stab someone, it will go through their chest. It will go through most things. If you need something ever better, I can provide you it. How do you feel about stone?
are druids good with stone?
For the most part, yeah. Most things that aren't like metal, they like. A particular one that people are very commonly talked about is obsidian, which is technically considered a stone for druids.
Because it's
Be
made
fair.
from volcanoes in nature.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, obsidian is technically glass, but yeah.
Yeah.
Stone is okay.
Ah. Alright. Well, in that case, he kind of like looks around the area for a second before he like reaches into another box that's just laying on the ground. Ow. Fuck.
You probably
gently
shouldn't
grabbing
leave open blades in boxes.
it. Yeah. I don't use this box very often. He pulls out and he hands it to you right next to your bone one. If you ever need to fight someone, use this knife. You see, it is an obsidian knife, pure obsidian. It is so sharp that you can see where it cut him on his finger, and it is bleeding. And you know how tough his skin is.
Mm-hmm.
This will go
How much?
through bone, body, anything.
Dude,
Ah.
do you need my life rune?
Huh?
Talking to Born. Do you need my life rune? He said as
Oh,
pulling
no,
out the golden
boy.
stone.
It'll heal on its own, or I'll put it over a fire. And
I mean, yes, but I'd imagine that would be a more painful purpose for the same situation. Especially since I don't expect I'm going to be using this any other way today.
pain is how you live, boy. It's fine. And for how much that is, well, I crafted it years ago. At one point where I was talking to Sylvana, and she was whining and arguing about the fact that I only used metal in all of my glorious pieces and everything like that. And she was annoyed by it because, well, as a ranger, she liked metal, but she preferred nature as a course. And she said I could not possibly make something out of bone, so I said, ha! And then I spent 3 years trying to learn. And then she said, well, you can make stuff out of bone. You can make things with obsidian. It's way harder. Turns out, yeah, it's way harder. It took me 12 years in order to make this one stupid blade. I hate it, but I also love it. So, I don't know, give me like, 10 gold? And just promise that it'll never be in my shop again, unless it's on your person.
And that's just for the obsidian knife?
Oh, yeah, the bone knife, I don't care.
Really? You
It's
spent so long on it.
Look, things that I craft are meant to be used. I hate bone. I'm never going to use it. The obsidian I might use if I ever really need to stab somebody, but I got 12 things in there which are sharp. Well, they're almost as sharp as that blade. And plus, he kind of like gestures to the fact that his hand is like twice as large as the obsidian blade. How the hell am I going to hold this shit?
And Ania will accept the bone knife and say,
May I come back tomorrow when Gelmar returns to see if I have money for the obsidian knife?
Sure. If you really want to, I'm happy to give you it. I fucking hate this goddamn knife. It's so pretty, but it's so brittle. Can't stab anything with it.
Didn't we get like 50 gold or something from the thing?
Share it. I wasn't going to use all 60 for myself.
I love how
total-
Dakota's like, wait, what?
I figured we already dispersed it, but I don't know.
I don't think Ania dispersed hers yet. She still has like the 60 gold.
Oh, true.
I'm just sitting here sweating. It's just like Gelmar's only got 10 to offer up.
Up to you.
I
He
still
just kind
need
of
to get-
shrugs.
New clothes, so I'll come back tomorrow.
Not a problem, little lady. As long as you get that fucking bone knife out of my... I can't even stab something with it. Why do you make a knife you can't stab with?
Hey, Sin, in the VC chat.
Ooh, interesting. Short swords. Okay. No problem. Interesting in short swords. Okay. I assume that, especially considering your general proficiency with hunting and stuff like that with short swords, he would probably be looking not as glorious swords because he doesn't know your skill level, but he'd be looking at the other swords around the area. These definitely put your swords to shame. You probably bought your swords at some point, just traveling, or, you're not really a forger, so you probably bought them from someone, somewhere, another blacksmith, whatever have you, and they're just generally good swords. But he would probably reach over, and he'd probably grab a set, which are fucking beautiful quality, and he would probably put them in front of you, and he would go, well, with a master smith on your side, he gestures to Gelmar, one good thing about these weapons, as compared to those iron shits, is you can reforge these to your heart's content. The metal in them is imbued with a specific quality that I got from Calothra. She never really liked forging things or giving them magical properties, but I convinced her for some of my ore, and the way they work.
Kylithra.
Yes.
That's Kylithra.
Yeah, Kylithra Moonshadow. Wonderful lady. One of the greatest mages I've ever seen, and God, she hits like a fucking freight train when she wants to.
You got your hands on a few ingots of mana steel?
Yes, I actually forged these myself. These can be crafted with other blades of magical properties, any kind of magic, and you can forge them together. I have faith in you, Gelmar. I know that you can do it too. But these, if you have another weapon or another magical item or another magical tool, you can reforge this with that magical tool and turn them into an even better item. It's hard, it's difficult, and may take you a couple of days, but these are sturdy sons of bitches, and they'll take you far.
Oh, magical metal. Now that's something I would have loved to have forged myself.
One day. And in the meantime, you can forge with these. They are very hard for you to break. I should know I tried.
Oh, that is a quality of magical material in general, I've been told.
Now, considering, the necessities of these, the fact that Galmar has helped me on more occasions than I can count, I'll give you them for 10 gold each. The obsidian knife is more expensive because I fucking hate it. It's a hate tax. I hate it. It's stupid.
The short swords are 10 gold each?
Yeah, 10 short swords, 10 gold each.
No, that's more expensive. That's the same price as the knife.
Yeah, the obsidian knife was 10 for one.
Ah. Well. Hold on. Let me do my math. Alright, make the knife 8. Knife 8.
But the...
Sorry,
okay.
make knife 12. God.
Okay, there you go. I was like, it's even less expensive.
Wait a minute.
So, knife is 12, and each short sword is 10.
Yep, for a total of 20. The knife is slightly more expensive because he has a hate tax on it. He fucking hates that thing.
Usually people hate the thing, they sell it for cheaper. But
yeah.
Hey, whatever he wants.
Hey, if he hates something, he's gonna give it away. He's gonna get paid for it. He loves his blades. He doesn't really care for what they get cost as long as it's going to a good party. He really fucking hates this knife though, so he's don't get paid a lot for it.
So, with the 30 and 60, since Ania will split it evenly, everyone will get 15 gold from today.
Okay.
Oh, slick.
Very nice.
I'm also going to be splitting the 10 gold I got, except I'm not taking a cut. I am just going to classify the completed Smith's tools as my payment. Okay. So everyone else take 2 additional gold.
Thank you very much.
That does not split it evenly.
Roll a perception check.
Oh yeah. You're definitely the only one who would get that.
I'd probably.
Jesus fucking
you caught him slipping a couple extra gold into the pouch during the story.
All right, Ania does not mention anything yet.
God
she
damn.
will keep it in mind for later. But she pretends she doesn't notice and will take the extra 2 gold.
So how much is that in total?
17 in total, split it amongst the group from this current transaction they're talking about.
Nice.
Oh, so that's 15 plus.
7.
Wait,
GP
no.
and...
17.
17.
Oh yeah, you're
that
right.
was me counting my 2
yeah,
with
yeah.
your 15.
Got it. So everyone gets an extra 17 gold then.
There you go.
Except
So-
for Gelmar. Gelmar only gets 15.
Nice.
Indeed.
Okay.
I
So
probably asked. Oh,
Huh?
And just Dakota, just like I probably asked to buy something, but I'm starting to think I might be using this gun for the rest of my life.
I don't know what material that was made of, and frankly, I worry about it blowing up on you. Most of the gnomes technicians have done that.
Yeah, it's I honestly have no idea if it's made out of anything particular. It's a magic thing. I'm a warlock.
Ah, that makes sense. Makes sense how you knew virus then.
Mhm.
Oh, it's cute. So Sapphire, you do have enough money to get both swords if you'd like to.
We are also coming back tomorrow, so if you'd like to hang back in case you want to get something else, we can do that as well.
Can't decide.
And come back tomorrow.
Yep, we can always come back
Yeah.
next session as well.
Mm.
Ow.
Personally,
I
for
think we'll
myself,
do
I'm
that.
thinking about how much it would be for like magic rings and stuff.
Hey,
Matt?
can I help you? That's my face.
And
Those
yeah,
are
might
glasses.
sell
I
a
need
few of her
those.
potions as well.
Yeah, you could do that too. There would almost certainly be potion sellers in this town, so.
Yeah.
And then Rue, you said something about magic rings?
Yeah, I don't know how much they would be.
Depends on the type of ring.
What we found?
Yeah, something like protection would be nice, or
Ow.
like the ring of evasion.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
Those would have to be specially made, because they're magic plus, metal. So, you could ask him about it. He would probably say something to the effect of, he would have to send off the ring to Elysian Glade, basically, to get... He can make you the ring itself without the magical properties, but you would have to find someone to cast the magic onto it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good too.
Yeah, and honestly, if it's just the metal, it wouldn't be that expensive. It would be less than a gold.
Yeah, it would just be the cost of the spell on the ring, right?
Yeah, you would have to find someone to cast the spell onto the ring, or you could even cast it yourself, or, whatever it is. It just is a little bit more difficult because it's a specific type of spell casting. So you would have to find someone who is specialized in that, which would be a high elf.
Yeah, okay. So I'd probably just buy a few rings.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd probably be like 8 silver each.
Sure. Maybe like 2 rings, because you never, maybe just 3. In case 3, yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably
cool.
find stuff along the way anyway.
Yep. And I will leave you guys inside of his shop, so you guys can think about anything else that you request from him in the next week or so, as well as giving Cyril a chance to request anything specific as well. Although considering his weapon is magical as it is, I don't think he'll probably find many upgrades to it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did, feel free to hit that follow button if you guys have not already. Go check out the rest of our content. Tomorrow, instead of playing Elden Ring, because my brother is still not, does not have his microphone yet, or his mic amp yet, we're instead going to, I believe, be playing, Vintage. Yes, Vintage with Story. So
Vintage
you guys want...
Story over on my channel.
Yes. We're going to play it on her channel, and we're also going to be streaming for the first 3-ish hours, I think. 2 or 3 hours, depending on when we are. So either check out my channel or check out Stories. And honestly, just go check out hers in any case, because she is awesome. Yes, I'm getting very good at typing. You'd be surprised how long it took me to type it the first time. But thank you guys all for joining. It's been a wonderful time. I'm very glad to have all of you guys here listening. Again, if you have not seen the previous episodes of this, there were 6 of them. They're on Tables of Tartarus, our YouTube channel. We have a whole link tree. Or that's not how you spell that. We have a whole link tree showing all of our different links, including our Discord link, which also has a whole section for it. And you guys get to talk to us if you guys are new and want to interact with us and see all the wonderful, interesting, and crazy shit that we do all throughout the week. So we'll see all of you fine folks on the next episode. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
one.